Chapter 142. After Long Junjiang's words, the participants from the three factions all took a step forward. The Heavenly Dragon faction's participants were three youths at the peak of the 9th level of the true energy realm. Each of them had a stronger aura than Pang Wei and Long Junjiang. As for the Mount Tai sect's three people, two of them had the same aura as the three from the Heavenly Dragon faction, but the last person with a cloak had an extremely strange aura. It was as if two auras had merged together. Pang Wei, get your ass up here. As the participants from the three factions walked out, a youth from the Heavenly Dragon faction with a cold expression stepped forward and pointed at Pang Wei. Lu Xiang, since you're looking for trouble, I'll fulfill your wish. Hearing the youth's words, Pang Wei's body moved and walked towards the arena to confront Lu Xiang. Sky Blue Lizard appear. Seeing Pang Wei walk out, Lu Xiang summoned his martial soul without hesitation. Then, a 3-meter-long blue shadow appeared above his head and emitted a dark soul power. With the support of this soul power, the aura on Lu Xiang's body immediately darkened. Blazing Rock Bull appear. Seeing Lu Xiang summon his martial soul, Pang Wei did not dare to hesitate and immediately summoned his martial soul. Then, a 4-meter-long blazing shadow appeared above Pang Wei and emitted a violent airwave. With the support of the blazing rock bull's soul power, Pang Wei gave off the feeling that he was a raging bull. Lu Xiang and Pang Wei's martial souls were of the same grade. They were both high-tier, grade 10 martial souls, but one was more feminine while the other was more masculine. Once the two of them summoned their martial souls, they began to attack each other in a frenzy and began to fight. Skynet Strangle. As soon as Lu Xiang attacked, he blasted out a series of blue palm shadows. The palm shadows emitted a corrosive and dark aura. Blazing Collision. Facing Lu Xiang's attack, Pang Wei was not to be outdone. The flames on his body surged as he charged towards Lu Xiang. Bang, bang, bang. Then, a series of muffled sounds rang out as the two of them exchanged blows. Chi chi chi. Under the bombardment of Lu Xiang's true chi palm shadows, Pang Wei's body issued a sharp sound, as if his body was being corroded by Lu Xiang's palm shadows. Facing Pang Wei's attack, Lu Xiang's clothes were immediately set ablaze and burned into tatters. After a short moment, the two of them were in an extremely sorry state. Their clothes were ragged, and their hair was disheveled. However, after a frenzied battle, in the end, it was still Lu Xiang who came out on top and obtained victory. Sigh. The protectors of the City Lord's mansion involuntarily sighed when they saw Pang Wei's defeat. Their expressions became somewhat grave. Pang Wei's defeat meant that Mo Qingyun and Wu Chong would have to take turns fighting the six of them. The situation would become even worse. Wu Chong, come on up. While everyone in the Castellan Manor was worried, a young man from the Mount Tai sect walked out, looking at Wu Chong with a cold expression. Hearing the other party's words, Wu Chong's face darkened as he walked towards the other party with a cold expression. Seeing Wu Chong walk closer, the young man said with disdain, Wu Chong, you're no match for me. If you know what's good for you, you'd better admit defeat. Hearing the young man's words, Wu Chong's face darkened. He snorted coldly and said, Humph. Xiang, don't be so smug. We'll only know after we fight. Since you're asking for it, I'll fulfill your wish. I'll let you know that you'll always be defeated by me. Hearing Wu Chong's reply, Xiang looked at Wu Chong with disdain, and a cold smile appeared on his face. Limitless Poison Ivy appear. After Xiang spoke, he summoned his martial soul. Then, a black vine shadow appeared above his head, baring its fangs and brandishing its claws. Dark Sun, Three-Headed Crow, appear. Seeing that Xiang had summoned his martial soul, Wu Chong did not dare to hesitate and immediately summoned his martial soul. Soon after, a black crow with 3 heads appeared in the air above him. Skynet Obliteration. Seeing that Wu Chong had summoned his martial soul, Shi Yang's face turned cold. He immediately unleashed his martial soul superpower and attacked Wu Chong. Once the martial soul superpower was unleashed, thousands of vine shadow appeared around Shi Yang and swept towards Wu Chong. Dark Crow Soul Absorption. In the face of Shi Yang's attack, Wu Chong did not dare to hesitate and unleashed his martial soul superpower. Suddenly, a black crow shadow rushed toward Shi Yang and let out a low cry as it attacked Shi Yang's soul. Wu Chong, this move is useless against me. Shi Yang seemed to be very familiar with Wu Chong's moves. When he saw the situation, he sneered and said, "You'd better surrender obediently." Whoosh, 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 shadows of vines and branches tore through the air as they whipped towards Wu Chong. In the face of the hundreds and thousands of vines and branches, Wu Chong was struck by one of the vines and branches. After being whipped by a vine shadow, a hideous wound appeared on Wu Chong's body and blood gushed out of it. Then, Wu Chong was whipped by vines one after another, and hideous wounds appeared on his body. It was a horrible sight to behold. "Stop. We surrender this round." Seeing Wu Chong's miserable state, one of the protectors from the governor's mansion immediately surrendered. When he heard the protector's words, Shi Yang stopped and said to Wu Chong in disdain, "Wu Chong, you're getting worse and worse. I don't even need to use 30% of my strength to deal with you. Shi Yang, I'll make you pay double for what you did today." When he heard Shi Yang's words, Wu Chong's face was filled with anger, and he struggled to walk towards the governor's mansion. When the governor's mansion saw that Wu Chong had been defeated again, their expressions turned grave. After losing 2 rounds in a row, it would be even more difficult to win the next round, unless Mo Qingyun defeated all 6 of them in a row when he fought with them later on. That would be the only way. Was it possible for one person to defeat 6 people in a row? At this moment, even Wan Lianyun, who had absolute confidence in Mo Qingyun, could not help but worry, let alone the governor's mansion's protectors. Wan Lianyun took a deep breath and said to Mo Qingyun, "I'll have to trouble Mr. Mo from now on." Mo Qingyun nodded and walked towards the arena with an indifferent expression. When Mo Qingyun walked into the arena, Lu Xiang, who had fought with Pang Wei previously, walked out again. When Lu Xiang saw that his opponent this time was only at the 8th level of the true energy realm, a look of disdain appeared on his face. He sneered, "8th level of the true energy realm. Looks like the city lord's estate really doesn't have anyone else to send out such a piece of trash." Lu Xiang sneered and continued, "Kid, if you kneel down and admit defeat and cripple your own arms, I'll spare your life." After hearing his words, Mo Qingyun shook his head and said disdainfully, "You're no match for me. Let them come at me together. You're no match for me. Let them come at me together." As soon as Mo Qingyun said this, everyone's expression changed, and they looked at Mo Qingyun in shock. Mo Qingyun was truly too arrogant. He actually wanted to use his own strength to fight against 6 people at the same time. In the eyes of the crowd, it was not an exaggeration to say that he was crazy. This Mr. Mo is as arrogant as ever. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, the governor's mansion's protectors smiled helplessly and shook their heads. "Haha, an arrogant person must have some skills. He must be confident in doing this." Wan Lianyun chuckled and looked at Mo Qingyun expectantly. "I hope so." Protector Pang and the others all sighed. However, there was not much hope in their eyes. "Oof, that arrogant and conceited brat. Let's go and slaughter him." Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, the participants from the Mount Tai sect and the Sky Dragon sect all stood up with angry faces. They wanted to teach Mo Qingyun a lesson. "Chao Chuan, you stay." Seeing the actions of the 5 youths in front of him, Tai Jinhai instructed the young man in the cloak and said, "Shi Yang, you guys go deal with that kid. If you have the chance, kill him directly." "Yes, Sect Leader Tai." Hearing Tai Jinhai's instructions, Shi Yang and the others nodded in response. Chapter 143. Shi Yang and the others walked out and spread out, surrounding Mo Qingyun in the middle. "Boy, I admire your courage. You actually dare to challenge all of us." After surrounding Mo Qingyun in the middle, Shi Yang looked at Mo Qingyun with a sneer and said, "Perhaps in your opinion, if you lose like this, you can save some face. After all, you're fighting with fewer people. Even if you lose, you won't lose face. However, I'll soon let you know that you're wrong. Because if you lose like this, it won't be a matter of saving face. Instead, you'll lose your life. After Xiang finished speaking, Lu Xiang smiled sinisterly and added a few more words. You guys seem to be too confident. Mo Qingyun smiled unconcernedly when he heard the words of Xiang and Lu Xiang. He said, I only asked the two of you to come together to save time. I only need a single move to deal with you. Save time? Only one move? Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the surrounding people's expressions changed again. They were somewhat shocked by Mo Qingyun's words. At this moment, Tai Jinhai's expression changed when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. He said coldly, Little thief of the Mo clan, don't forget that you just promised us that you won't use external forces during the fight. Don't worry, it won't be so troublesome to deal with the useless Heavenly Dragon faction and Mount Tai sect. Mo Qingyun's face was full of mockery when he heard Tai Jinhai's words. He didn't take it seriously. Oomph. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Tai Jinhai snorted coldly and didn't say anything else. City Lord, Tai Jinhai and Long Junjiang seemed to be very wary of Mr. Mo's trump card. But if Mr. Mo doesn't use this trump card, does he really have any hope of winning? I'm not sure about this. I believe that since Mr. Mo did this, he should have some confidence. At this moment, Wan Lianyun and the others exchanged a few words. They all looked worried. He only needs one move to deal with us? At this moment, everyone was whispering to each other. One of Shi Yang's group walked out and coldly said to Mo Qingyun, Brat, aren't you afraid of biting your tongue when you talk big? Don't say that I didn't give you a chance. Summon your martial spirit. Summoning martial spirit? After hearing this person's words, Mo Qingyun curled his lips and said in an unconcerned tone, I don't need to summon my martial spirit to deal with you. If that's the case, don't blame me for not giving you a chance. Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the man's face sank. He didn't say anything else and directly attacked Mo Qingyun. True extreme dark palm 2 waves of astonishing true energy surged out of the man's palms and transformed into a Taiji diagram that shot towards Mo Qingyun. Xietang's true extreme mystic palm has already been cultivated to perfection. The power of this palm is already comparable to the first level of the true energy realm. In my opinion, Xietang is making a mountain out of a molehill. There's no need to be so serious when dealing with that kid. Seeing Xietang attack, Shiyang and the others didn't take it seriously. They felt that Xietang was making a mountain out of a molehill. Bang! At this moment, while Shiyang and the others were talking, they suddenly saw a figure fly out at an extremely fast speed. Puff! After the figure flew out, he spat out a mouthful of blood. His face was pale, and his expression became dispirited. Xietang. The figure that flew out was actually Xietang, who had an astonishing aura just now. After seeing this scene, Shiyang and the others' expressions changed. They couldn't believe the outcome. Xietang had attacked with all his might, but he still wasn't a match for Mo Qingyun. This outcome was far beyond their expectations. In their view, under the circumstances where Mo Qingyun did not use his trump card, if Xietang wanted to deal with him, wouldn't it be an easy matter? This kid is a little strange. Let's attack together. Seeing that Xietang was crippled by Mo Qingyun in one move, Shiyang and the others didn't dare to be careless and immediately attacked together. Skynet's strangle limitless imprisonment poisonous light, Shadow Soul, severing domineering saber under the attacks of Shiyang and the others. All kinds of saber lights and sword shadows attacked Mo Qingyun at an extremely fast speed. Fire Dragon Seal facing the attacks of the others. Mo Qingyun didn't hesitate and immediately took out 27 Fire Dragon Battle Seals to protect his body. Once the 27 Fire Dragon Battle Seals were taken out, they immediately emitted a shocking heat wave and flames surged endlessly. At the same time, the attacks of Shiyang and the others also landed on the Fire Dragon Battle Seals. Chi. However, the moment the attacks of Shiyang and the others came into contact with the Fire Dragon Battle Seals, they were incinerated and turned into green smoke. Just like that, the full-force attacks of Shiyang and the others were easily received by Mo Qingyun. How is this possible? After seeing this scene, Shi Yang and the others were shocked. They couldn't accept this fact. A kid at LV8, true energy realm, actually had such terrifying combat strength. This was too much of a blow to them. Sun incinerating mountain, splitting saber, however. At this moment, while Shi Yang and the others were still in shock, Mo Qingyun held the fire silk saber in his hand and swept it towards them. Instantly, a flaming saber light that was more than 5 meters long swept towards their waist with a force that could wipe out 1,000 armies. Puchi, Mo Qingyun's movements were extremely fast. The saber swept out smoothly like moving clouds and flowing water. Before Shi Yang and the others could react, they were cut in half at the waist. Feeling the saber at their waists, Shi Yang and the others widened their eyes. They couldn't believe that they were killed by Mo Qingyun in a single move. After seeing this scene, everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. It was because of Pang Wei and Wu Chong. One move. It really only took one move for Mo Qingyun to kill Shi Yang and the others. This sort of method was simply too tyrannical, too valiant. At this moment, Wu Chong and Pang Wei finally realized how big the gap between them and Mo Qingyun was. At this moment, they remembered how dangerous it was for them to provoke Mo Qingyun. They were really lucky to still be alive. We won. Seeing that Mo Qingyun killed Shi Yang and the others in a single move, Protector Pang and the others were pleasantly surprised. They were extremely excited. Originally, they had already decided not to participate in the battle. Unexpectedly, Mo Qingyun actually won with a thunderous momentum. This kind of strong contrast really made them overjoyed at the unexpected turn of events. It seems that I still underestimated Mr. Mo's strength. Wan Lianyun smiled faintly and shook his head as he mocked himself. Kid, you killed Shi Yang and the others? Seeing that Shi Yang and the others were all killed by Mo Qingyun in a single move, Tai Zhenhai and Long Zhenjiang's faces darkened. Shi Yang and the others were the elites of a younger generation of the two factions. They had spent a lot of effort to cultivate them. Now, they were all killed by Mo Qingyun. How could they not be angry when such a thing happened? Sec Leader Tai, I don't understand what you're saying. When Mo Qingyun heard this, he pretended to be puzzled and said, You sent a bunch of good-for-nothings. They couldn't even take a single blow from me. In the end, they were killed by me. I had no choice. I really didn't expect them to be so weak. After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Tai Zhenhai was furious, but he couldn't refute. He had no choice. His people couldn't even take one move from Mo Qingyun. He couldn't blame Mo Qingyun for being too ruthless. He could only blame his people for being too weak. Chapter 144. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the cloaked person slowly stood up and took off his cloak. After the cloak was taken off, his appearance was revealed to everyone. Seeing his appearance, everyone's expression changed. They were somewhat shocked by his appearance. This person actually had 2 heads and 4 hands. He looked like a conjoined person. Seeing that person's appearance, everyone in the city lord's mansion was shocked. For a moment, they didn't know what to say. After a short moment of shock, Wan Lianyun's face darkened. He snorted and said, Humph, this Tai Zhenhai is really scheming. In order to obtain victory in the Cloud Sea Paradise, he actually found such a monster. After hearing Wan Lianyun's words, the eyes of Protector Pang and the others lit up. They understood the mystery behind it. Although this person only had one body, it was obvious that he was a conjoined person. He had the basic conditions of 2 people. In this way, when he fought with others, it was equivalent to having the combat strength of 2 people. Don't underestimate this point. He had 2 heads and 4 bodies, which meant that he had 2 martial souls. In this way, the combat strength that he could unleash during a battle wasn't as simple as 1 + 1. From this, it could be seen that if someone of the same cultivation level fought with him, they would be at a disadvantage. Kid, you actually defeated Shi Yang and the other trash. This really surprised us. However, this is also good. When we kill you later, we can show that we are stronger than Shi Yang and the other trash. The 2 heads sneered. After sizing up Mo Qingyun, They sneered at Mo Qingyun. Seeing this person's appearance, Mo Qingyun was slightly surprised. He didn't expect this person to look like this. After a short moment of surprise, Mo Qingyun curled his lips in disdain. He mocked the two of them. So you are a monster. No wonder you don't dare to show your face with a cloak. Shui Chao, he called you a monster. Kill him. Shui Kun, he's clearly scolding you. You should kill him. Then let's attack together. Tear this kid into pieces and feed his flesh to the dogs. All right, let's attack together and kill this brat. Anyone who dares to scold us must die. When the conjoined Shui Chaochuan heard Mo Qingyun's words, the two heads immediately revealed ominous glints as they communicated. Blood-eyed demonic frog, appear. Purple-eyed demon frog, appear. As soon as Shui Chaochuan finished speaking, he summoned his martial soul. Then two huge frog shadows appeared above his body. Under the support of the two demon frogs, the color of Shui Chaochuan's two heads changed slightly. One was purple, while the other was blood red. They looked exceptionally terrifying and malevolent. Demon Frog swallowing the Sky Demon Frog shakes the heavens when conjoined body Shui Chaochuan made his move. Two huge frog shadows appeared in front of them. As soon as the blood-colored frog appeared, it opened its bloody mouth and tried to swallow Mo Qingyun. As for the purple frog shadow, it started to roar loudly and made a series of croaking sounds. Everyone furrowed their brows when they heard the croak. They felt a slight impact on their souls. As for Pang Wei and Wu Chong, who had weaker cultivations, their faces turned pale and cold sweat dripped down their foreheads. Obviously, the croaking of the frogs had a great impact on their souls, causing them to be unable to endure it. However, this croaking did not affect Mo Qingyun in the slightest. It cannot be helped. Mo Qingyun's soul cultivation had already reached the peak of the illusory realm. Unless it was someone whose soul cultivation had reached the spirit origin realm, there were very few people who could harm his soul. Fire Dragon Seal. Looking at the blood-colored frog shadow that was trying to swallow him, Mo Qingyun raised his hand and blasted out 27 fire dragon seals. Roar! As soon as the 27 fire dragon seals appeared, they let out a low dragon roar and formed a fire dragon shield. It charged towards the blood-colored frog shadow. Bang! As soon as the fire dragon shield was formed, it blocked the blood-colored shadow. When the two collided, there was a muffled sound and true energy wreaked havoc. Heavenly Soul Seal. At the same time, Mo Qingyun released 18 Heavenly Soul Seals and blasted them towards Shui Chaochuan and Wu Chong. After being hit by the Heavenly Soul Seals, Shui Chaochuan and Wu Chong groaned and let out a miserable cry. Brat, we're going to kill you. At this moment, when Shui Chaochuan shouted furiously, the aura on his body suddenly rose. He broke through. The conjoined Shui Chaochuan's cultivation had broken through at this moment. Soon, the two heads of the conjoined Shui Chaochuan released the aura of the true energy realm. Good. Little thief Mo, let's see if you could survive this time. Seeing that Shui Chaochuan had broken through, Tai Jinhai's face lit up and he cheered. Haha, Shui Chaochuan, my cultivation has broken through to the true energy realm. Shui Chaochuan, my cultivation has also broken through to the true energy realm. Let's kill this brat together. After Shui Chaochuan's cultivation had broken through, the two heads of the conjoined Shui Chaochuan immediately laughed loudly and revealed proud smiles. Blood Eye Ray, Purple Eye Ray. After Shui Chaochuan finished speaking, he did not hold back anymore and immediately displayed his martial soul superpower. Then, a blood-red eyeball and a purple eyeball immediately condensed in the air and madly shot the blood-red and purple light rays at Mo Qingyun. Feeling the aura of the blood-red and purple light rays, Mo Qingyun could not help but frown, and his expression became more dignified. With a simple sense, he was sure that if he was hit by the two light rays, even if he was at the true energy realm, he would have a headache and even be severely injured. Scarlet Flame Dragon, appear. After discovering this, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and directly summoned his martial soul. Roar! As soon as the scarlet flame dragon martial soul was summoned, it let out a dragon's roar, and its body exuded a powerful dragon's aura. The dragon martial soul. This brat actually has such a terrifying martial soul. It seems that we have underestimated this brat. He can't be left alive. That's right. With such talent, if we let him continue to grow, he will be a great disaster in the future. We have to get rid of him as soon as possible. After seeing Mo Qingyun's martial soul, Tai Zhenhai and the others' faces darkened, and they coldly discussed with each other. Mr. Mo's martial soul is the dragon martial soul. What a terrifying talent. When Protector Pang and the others saw Mo Qingyun's martial soul, they were shocked, and their hearts could not calm down for a long time. The dragon martial soul was a superior martial soul that surpassed level 10. There was no one with such a martial soul in the entire Lianyan city. Not to mention Lianyan city, there was probably no one with such a martial soul in the entire Xia country. More importantly, Mo Qingyun's martial soul was one of the more powerful dragon martial souls. It might have reached level 12 or above. A martial soul that was above level 12 was probably not seen in the Xia country for hundreds of years. Sigh, compared to Mr. Mo, our talent is trash. Looking at Mo Qingyun's scarlet flame dragon martial soul, Wan Yuexian suddenly felt a blow and smiled bitterly. As for Pang Wei and Protector Pang, they were stunned and looked blankly at the scarlet flame dragon martial soul. Xueqiao, this kid's martial soul seems to be very powerful. So what? In the end, he'll still die in our hands. Yes, no matter how powerful his martial soul is, he'll still be killed by us. To be honest, I haven't killed anyone with a superior martial soul. It should feel good to kill them. Whether it feels good or not, we'll know after we kill them. Kill. After seeing Mo Qingyun's martial soul, the two heads of the conjoined Shui Chaochuan talked to each other. At this moment, when everyone was shocked by Mo Qingyun's martial soul, swallow it. Mo Qingyun controlled the scarlet flame dragon martial soul and quickly approached Shui Chaochuan's two martial souls. He opened his mouth and swallowed them. Then, Shui Chaochuan's two demon frog martial souls were swallowed by the scarlet flame dragon martial soul. Swallowed. The dragon martial soul had swallowed the two demon frog martial souls. After seeing this scene, everyone was dumbfounded. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. Such a scene had already surpassed their understanding. It was something they had never seen before. A martial soul could actually swallow other people's martial souls. This kind of thing was really unimaginable to them. Puff puff. After his martial soul was swallowed, Shui Chaochuan's mind was immediately injured. Both heads spat out a mouthful of blood, and their faces turned pale. You swallowed our martial souls. After his martial soul was swallowed by the scarlet flame dragon martial soul, Shui Chaochuan's face was filled with horror, and he looked at Mo Qingyun with fear. Swallowed your martial souls. Chapter 145. Sun Incinerating Mountain Splitting Blade. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he held the red silk blade and slashed at Shui Chaochuan. As soon as the red silk blade fell, true energy raged on the blade. Flames surged and formed a 5-meter-long flaming blade ray. Facing Mo Qingyun's blade, Shui Chaochuan's face immediately changed. His face was filled with fear. He had a feeling that if he was hit by Mo Qingyun's blade, he would definitely turn into ashes. After realizing this, both of Shui Chaochuan's heads panicked. He begged Tai Zhenhai for help. Sect Master, save me. At the same time, Shui Chaochuan immediately turned around and fled in the direction of the Mount Tai sect. Fire ultimacy. When Shui Chaochuan and Shui Chaochuan cried for help, the surrounding people saw Mo Qingyun's blade, and their faces changed. They had actually sensed the profundity of fire in Mo Qingyun's saber strike, especially the people from the Castellan Mansion. When they realized that Mo Qingyun's blade contained the fire ultimacy, they were all shocked. Previously, when Mo Qingyun attacked Pang Wei and Tai Zhenhai, they saw that Mo Qingyun had comprehended the earth ultimacy and wind ultimacy. Now that he had comprehended the fire ultimacy, Didn't that mean that Mo Qingyun had comprehended 3 types of ultimacy? He was only in the true energy realm, but he had already comprehended 3 types of ultimacy. This was heaven-defying, comprehending 3 types of ultimacy at the true energy realm. This kid's talent is too terrifying. This time, we were all wrong. I didn't think that such a monster would appear in Lianyun City. Is this guy really from a small Mo family? The Mo family is really lucky to have such a junior. They don't have to worry about their prosperity. For a moment, Protector Pang and the others had complicated expressions as they sighed. While the people from the Castellan Mansion were sighing, the people from the Mount Tai sect and the Heavenly Dragon sect had gloomy expressions. I didn't expect this kid to have comprehended 3 ultimacies. Tai Jinhai's face was gloomy as he looked at Mo Qingyun with a cold glint in his eyes. He said coldly, "Kid, stop." At this moment, Tai Jinhai's words to Mo Qingyun clearly contained a commanding tone. However, Mo Qingyun ignored his words. He glanced at him with disdain and continued to chase after Xue Chaochuan. Raptor break. Mo Qingyun's body moved, and a pair of real chi wings formed on his back. After a few flashes, he caught up with Xue Chaochuan. As soon as he saw Mo Qingyun closing in, Xue Chaochuan's expression changed. His face revealed a terrified expression. Gravity suppression. After approaching Xue Chaochuan, Mo Qingyun released the profound of earth to suppress Xue Chaochuan. Under the gravity suppression, Xue Chaochuan's movements were immediately suppressed, and his speed was greatly reduced. After discovering this, Xue Chaochuan immediately panicked and said in terror, How? How could this be? Slash. While Xue Chaochuan and Tai Zhanhai were panicking, Mo Qingyun held the red silk saber and slashed at them decisively. Kid, stop. Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, Tai Zhanhai's face darkened. He shouted again and attacked Mo Qingyun with a palm strike. Puchi. While Tai Zhanhai was attacking Mo Qingyun had already slashed Xue Chaochuan with a single saber strike, forcefully killing Xue Chaochuan. Raptor break. After killing Xue Chaochuan, Mo Qingyun didn't dare to stay any longer. He immediately leaped into the air and retreated towards the City Lord Mansion. Flying in the air, seeing Mo Qingyun's move, everyone was shocked again. They were shocked by Mo Qingyun's technique. Flying in the air was a technique that only Dan Palace Realm experts could use. They didn't expect Mo Qingyun to be able to do it. Tai Zhanhai, you've gone overboard. Seeing Tai Zhanhai attacking Mo Qingyun, Wan Lianyun's face turned cold. He stood up and faced Tai Zhanhai. While Wan Lianyun was speaking, he also blasted a palm strike at Tai Zhanhai and blocked Tai Zhanhai's palm strike. Bang! When Tai Zhanhai and Wan Lianyun collided, a loud sound was instantly heard. It set off a violent wave of origin energy that swept out in all directions, forming a shocking storm. Under the sweeping of this storm, the surrounding plants were uprooted, causing sand and rocks to fly. Facing the sweeping of this origin energy storm, everyone in the surroundings was shaken to the point of retreating. Some people with weaker cultivations were shaken to the point that their faces turned red and the blood in their hearts surged. However, what surprised everyone was that Mo Qingyun, who was closest to the storm, was fine. After seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, everyone's gaze towards Mo Qingyun changed again. Wan Lianyun, are you deliberately going against me? Seeing his attack being blocked by Wan Lianyun, Tai Zhanhai's expression was gloomy, and his tone was filled with anger. I'll say the same thing. Mr. Mo is a participant of my City Lord's mansion. I can't let you touch him. Wan Lianyun had an indifferent expression towards Tai Zhanhai's displeasure, and he responded to him. Seeing Wan Lianyun block his attack, Tai Zhanhai's expression became indeterminate. With Wan Lianyun's strength, if they wanted to deal with Mo Qingyun, they would probably have to pay a great price. After pondering for a short while, Tai Zhanhai gave up on the idea of immediately killing Mo Qingyun. Wan Lianyun, I hope you don't regret your actions today. Seeing Wan Lianyun's attitude, Tai Zhanhai snorted coldly and left behind a ruthless sentence. He said to the people from Mount Tai sect, Let's go. Subsequently, Tai Jinhai led the people from Mount Tai sect and left. Seeing Tai Jinhai leave, Long Junjiang did not stay any longer and left with the people from the Sky Dragon faction. The departure of the people from Mount Tai sect and the Sky Dragon faction announced that the City Lord's mansion had won the battle for the Cloud Sea Cave. Seeing this, Wan Lianyun did not hesitate. He took out a black formation disc and threw it toward the center of the lake. As soon as the black formation disc was thrown out, it bloomed with a dazzling light and emitted a strong formation power. After the black formation disc fell into the lake, a huge whirlpool appeared in the center of the originally calm lake. Soon, a path appeared in the middle of the lake, and at the end of the path was the entrance to a cave. That was the entrance to the Cloud Sea Cave. The entrance to the Cloud Sea Cave is right in front of us. Let's go. Seeing this, Wan Lianyun gestured to everyone and walked toward the path in the center of the lake. Soon, everyone arrived at the entrance of the Cloud Sea Cave. When they arrived at the entrance, Wan Lianyun quickly formed a hand seal and imprinted it on the runes on the stone door of the cave. Boom, boom, boom. As Wan Lianyun's hand seal landed on the runes on the stone door of the cave, the stone door immediately shook and slowly opened. Seeing the stone door open, Wan Lianyun immediately urged Mo Qingyun and the other two people. This stone door will only be open for 10 breaths. Mr. Mo, Pang Wei, Wu Cheng quickly entered the cave. Hearing Wan Lianyun's words, Mo Qingyun and the other two people did not hesitate and immediately walked into the Cloud Sea Cave. Chapter 146. What pure water, elemental energy. Once Mo Qingyun entered the Cloud Sea Cave, he could feel a pure water, elemental energy enveloping him. He discovered that under the nourishment of this water, elemental energy, the injuries of Pang Wei and the other man were slowly recovering. Immediately, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and walked towards the interior of the Cloud Sea Cave. As he walked deeper into the cave, the water elemental energy became denser and denser, forming droplets of water that floated in midair. Looking at the water elemental energy droplets that floated in midair and emitted a faint glow, Mo Qingyun felt as if he was standing in the middle of a starry sky. Just like that, Mo Qingyun shuttled through the water elemental energy droplets and headed deeper into the cave. As he walked deeper into the cave, Mo Qingyun discovered that the interior of the cave was so spacious that it could be described as a cave. In the innermost part of the cave, there was a huge cold pool. Around the cold pool, there were some ice flowers, ice grass, and ice trees. These are Ice Soul Spiritual Grass, Ice Soul Spiritual Flower, and Ice Soul Spiritual Wood. Looking at the ice flowers, ice grass, and ice trees, Mo Qingyun was pleasantly surprised. He picked them up and kept them in his chinquin bag. After a while, all the ice grass, ice flowers, and ice trees were kept in Mo Qingyun's chinquin bag. Among them, there were 9 stalks of Ice Soul Spiritual Grass, 5 stalks of Ice Soul Spiritual Flowers, and 2 stalks of Ice Soul Spiritual Trees. This was a delightful harvest. After making such a discovery, Mo Qingyun searched the cave again, but he didn't find anything. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and started to absorb the water elemental energy in the cave to cultivate. Under Mo Qingyun's absorption, the surrounding water elemental energy droplets converged towards him like moths to a flame. As he absorbed the water elemental energy in the cave, Mo Qingyun's aura increased rapidly. One day later, Mo Qingyun's aura reached its peak, reaching the peak of LV8 True Energy Realm. After this discovery, Mo Qingyun stopped absorbing the water elemental energy and started to compress the qi in his body. After several hours of hard work, Mo Qingyun finally compressed the qi in his body to the limit. Break! Seeing this, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and controlled the qi in his body to break through the barrier. Qi. Under the impact of the strong qi, the barrier was like a thin paper and was broken through. The moment the realm barrier was broken, the aura on Mo Qingyun's body suddenly soared, becoming more than several times stronger. Mo Qingyun's cultivation had finally broken through to the 9th level of the true energy realm. Without hesitation, he continued absorbing the water qi in his body. Qi in the cave. Under Mo Qingyun's crazy absorption, not only was his cultivation stabilized, but it also reached the peak of level 9 true energy realm. However, Mo Qingyun did not stop there. Instead, he continued to absorb the water elemental energy in the cave to improve his cultivation. 10 days later, Mo Qingyun's cultivation reached the peak of level 9 true energy realm. After this discovery, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and once again compressed the qi in his body, preparing to break through to the true energy realm. One day later, Mo Qingyun, who was cultivating, opened his eyes, revealing a pleasantly surprised expression. His cultivation had finally entered the true energy realm. After entering the Cloud Sea Cave, his cultivation had broken through from level 8 true energy realm to the true energy realm in just over half a month. This speed of improvement was quite shocking. After a short moment of surprise, Mo Qingyun went back to cultivating, absorbing the water elemental energy in the cave to stabilize his cultivation. Half a day later, Mo Qingyun stopped absorbing the water elemental energy. His cultivation had stabilized. Now that my cultivation has stabilized, it's time to cultivate my martial arts techniques. With this thought, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and began to cultivate his martial arts techniques. Mo Qingyun chose to cultivate the Fire Dragon Seal first. In comparison, the Fire Dragon Seal was easier to cultivate. Immediately, Mo Qingyun condensed the 27 true energy battle seals that he had previously condensed and turned them into true energy battle seals. In this way, Mo Qingyun continued to condense the Fire Dragon Seal for the rest of the time. 3 days later, Mo Qingyun stopped condensing the Fire Dragon Seal. At this moment, the 49 Fire Dragon battle seals were like playful little fire dragons, circling around his body. With my current cultivation, condensing 49 Fire Dragon battle seals is already my limit. Mo Qingyun muttered to himself and said, "Since I've finished cultivating the Fire Dragon Seal, it's time to cultivate other martial arts techniques." After pondering for a while, Mo Qingyun decided to cultivate the sun-incinerating, mountain-splitting saber technique. Then, Mo Qingyun patiently cultivated the sun-incinerating, mountain-splitting saber technique over and over again. A few days later, after repeated cultivation, Mo Qingyun finally cultivated the sun-incinerating, mountain-splitting saber technique to the greater success stage. At this moment, the power of the sun-incinerating, mountain-splitting saber technique was several times stronger than before. The 5-meter-long saber light had now grown to about 10 meters. Slash! Mo Qingyun held the fire silk saber and slashed at the cold pond in the cave. Chi! However, to Mo Qingyun's surprise, the 10-meter-long saber light was instantly extinguished when it neared the cold pond. This cold pond seems to be a little unusual. After this discovery, Mo Qingyun frowned slightly and revealed a curious expression. He walked closer to the cold pond and examined it. This is ice demon water. With one look, Mo Qingyun's expression changed and revealed a tinge of shock. The water in the cold pond was actually the extremely rare ice demon water. The ice demon water contained extremely dense cold air and could be used to assist in refining weapons. Using it to quench the refined weapons would have unexpected effects. No wonder the Ice Soul Spiritual Flower, Ice Soul Spiritual Grass, and Ice Soul Spiritual Tree would form here. At this moment, Mo Qingyun finally understood why things like the Ice Soul Spiritual Grass would appear here. With this Ice Demon Water, I can quench the Golden Jade Real Body. Mo Qingyun's face revealed a joyful expression, and he had a plan in his heart. After that, Mo Qingyun didn't hesitate any longer. He leaped into the cold pool and started to cultivate the Golden Jade True Body. As soon as Mo Qingyun entered the cold pond, he felt a bone-chilling coldness invading his body. After this discovery, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and immediately activated the golden jade real body to resist the cold air. Just like this, under the erosion and quenching of the ice demon water, Mo Qingyun's body began to change qualitatively. About 10 days later, the surface of Mo Qingyun's body was suffused with a layer of faint jade light. This was the sign that the golden jade real body had reached the advanced stage. The golden jade real body has reached the advanced stage. After this discovery, Mo Qingyun instantly revealed a joyful expression, and an excited expression appeared on his face. At the same time, Mo Qingyun clearly felt that a strong force had appeared in his body. This was the most primitive force, different from origin energy and genuine qi. After feeling this violent force, Mo Qingyun now had a feeling that he could fight against a person at the second level of the true energy realm with just the strength of his body. Next, only the Raptor Breaker is left. Seeing that the golden jade real body had reached the advanced stage, Mo Qingyun planned to cultivate the Raptor Breaker. As for the soul secret skill, Heavenly Soul Seal, Mo Qingyun did not plan to cultivate it. Now that his cultivation of the Heavenly Soul Seal had reached an extreme, if he wanted to improve it again, he would have to have a breakthrough in his soul cultivation. After making a decision in his heart, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and started to cultivate the martial skill, Raptor Break. Bang, bang, bang. Now that his cultivation had broken through to the true energy realm, the Raptor Breaker that Mo Qingyun executed was even more powerful. The genuine Qi wings on his back had also turned into true essence wings. After the wings on his back turned into true essence wings, Mo Qingyun's speed was obviously faster, covering a distance of 100 meters in a flash. Time passed unknowingly just like this. In the blink of an eye, a few days had passed. At this moment, Mo Qingyun's body stopped, and a faint smile appeared on his face. After a few days of cultivation, the martial technique Raptor Break had finally improved, reaching the level of mastery. Now that my cultivation and martial skill have improved, it's time to leave. Chapter 147. After a while, Mo Qingyun arrived at the cave abode. When Mo Qingyun arrived at the cave abode, he saw Wan Lianyun and the others who were still guarding the cave abode. Wan Lianyun and the others were guarding the cave abode, mainly because they were worried that the people from the Sky Dragon sect and the Mount Tai sect would return. They hid near the Cloud Sea cave abode and waited for the people who entered to come out so that they could kill them. Thank you for guarding me, City Governor Wan. When Wan Lianyun and the others came closer, Mo Qingyun cupped his hands and thanked them. When he saw Wan Lianyun and the others, Mo Qingyun already saw Pang Wei and Wu Chong among them. Since Pang Wei and Wu Chong had already come out and Wan Lianyun and the others were still guarding the cave abode, it meant that they were guarding Mo Qingyun. Aha, Mr. Mo, you're welcome. When they heard Mo Qingyun's words of gratitude, Wan Lianyun and the others quickly waved their hands and responded with smiles. Now, Mo Qingyun's importance in Wan Lianyun and the others' hearts was very different from before. They were very willing to befriend such a cultivation genius. Guarding Mo Qingyun and leaving a good impression on Mo Qingyun was also a good thing. Mr. Mo, your cultivation has reached the true energy realm. Feeling the aura from Mo Qingyun, Wan Lianyun and the others' expressions changed, and they were shocked. When Mo Qingyun entered the Cloud Sea cave abode, they knew very well that he was only at LV8 true energy realm. But now, Mo Qingyun's cultivation had successfully broken through to LV1 true energy realm, and it was very stable. Such a cultivation speed could be said to be extremely shocking. If Wan Lianyun and the others knew that Mo Qingyun had spent most of his time cultivating martial skills, they would be even more shocked. After a short moment of shock, Wan Lianyun smiled and said, Mr. Mo, it seems that you have gained a lot from this trip to the Cloud Sea Cave. Haha, not bad. Mo Qingyun chuckled and replied to Wan Lianyun. Then, Mo Qingyun and the others chatted as they returned to Lianyun City. On the way back, Mo Qingyun discovered that Peng Wei and Wu Chang's cultivation had successfully advanced to the true energy realm. It seemed that the two of them had gained a lot from the Cloud Sea Cave abode. On the way back to Lianyun City, Wan Lianyun said, "Young Master Mo, after you entered the Cloud Sea Paradise, Mr. Qi had something to do and left first. Lord, something must have happened in the clan." Upon hearing Wan Lianyun's words, Mo Qingyun nodded and gave a simple reply. He had known about Qi's departure. When Qinlai entered the Cloud Sea Paradise, Qi Lian sent him a message through his soul that he had returned to the Blue Jade Mansion. Qi Lian returned to the Azure Jade Mansion in order to take over the Heavenly Dragon Gang and Mount Tai sect, refining some of their members into blood slaves. After about an hour, Mo Qingyun and the others returned to Lianyun City. After returning to Lianyun City, Mo Qingyun did not rush back to the Azure Mansion. Instead, he went to the governor's mansion with Wan Lianyun. After arriving at the governor's mansion, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and said to Wan Lianyun, "Governor Wan, it's time to remove the poison from your body for the last time." "Oh, is that so?" After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Wan Lianyun's face lit up. He looked at Mo Qingyun excitedly. According to Mo Qingyun's words, as long as he went through this process, the poison in his body would be completely removed. "Yes." Mo Qingyun nodded and said, "Let's begin." Then, Mo Qingyun began to remove the poison from Wan Lianyun's body. After 15 minutes, Mo Qingyun stopped and removed the poison from Wan Lianyun's body. At this moment, when Mo Qingyun stopped, Wan Lianyun's aura became stronger. Half-step Pill Palace. After feeling the aura from Wan Lianyun, Mo Qingyun's expression changed slightly. He was surprised by Wan Lianyun's cultivation. "Thank you, Mr. Mo." After discovering that the poison in his body had been removed and his cultivation had recovered, Wan Lianyun was delighted and thanked Mo Qingyun. "You're welcome, Governor Wan." Mo Qingyun waved his hand and stood up. "Since the poison has been removed, I'll take my leave. I'll send Mr. Mo off." Seeing that Mo Qingyun was about to leave, Wan Lianyun immediately put on his clothes and stood up to send Mo Qingyun off. After an hour, Mo Qingyun returned to the Azure Jade Mansion. When Mo Qingyun walked into the Azure Jade Mansion, he realized that the atmosphere in the Azure Jade Mansion was somewhat stifling. Did something happen? After realizing this, Mo Qingyun's heart skipped a beat and a worried expression appeared on his face. "Qingyun, you're back." When Mo Hongtian and the rest saw that Mo Qingyun had returned, they forced a smile on their faces and greeted Mo Qingyun. Seeing everyone's expression, Mo Qingyun frowned and asked, "Grandfather, what happened? Why does everyone look so gloomy?" Sigh. Mo Hongtian sighed deeply and said, "It's like this. Recently, a junior from the Shui family called Shui Xiao came back from his training outside. After learning about Shui Zhenyang's death, he tried to take revenge on the Mo family. However, due to the interference of the Alchemist Union, he couldn't do anything to the Mo family. But seeing that Mo Hongtian had stopped, Mo Qingyun continued to ask, "But what happened?" When Shui Xiao realized that he couldn't do anything to the Mo family, he went berserk and annihilated some of the forces that had dealings with the Mo family. Mo Hongtian sighed again and said, when Shui Xiao found out about Wu Rou and Fei Lin's relationship, he led his men to annihilate the Wu family in 10 Mile Town and hung their corpses on the city walls. His methods were extremely cruel. Shui Xiao. Mo Qingyun's expression darkened when he heard Mo Hongtian's story. A chilling aura exuded from his body. He didn't expect that there would be such a person in the Shui family. At this moment, when killing intent rose in Mo Qingyun's heart, he saw Wu Rou and Wu Qing standing beside Mo Feilin. Seeing that Mo Qingyun was looking at Wu Rou and Wu Qing, Mo Feilin said, Rou and Sister Qing only managed to escape because they came to visit the Azure Jade Mansion. Qingyun, you must avenge the Wu family. Fourth uncle, don't worry. None of them will escape. Mo Qingyun nodded solemnly when he heard Mo Feilin's request. After that, Mo Qingyun asked Mo Hongtian and the others about Shui Xiao. After a series of inquiries, Mo Qingyun found out that Xue Xiao was actually a genius alchemist. He was already a grade 4 alchemist at such a young age. Moreover, the person who accompanied Xue Xiao back to Lianyan City was actually a half-step Pill Palace realm expert. It was because of this that Xue Xiao dared to act so recklessly and exterminate those forces that he didn't like. Grade 4 alchemist, half-step Pill Palace. Mo Qingyun frowned when he found out that Xue Xiao was accompanied by a half-step Yuan Dan expert. With a half-step Pill Palace realm expert accompanying him, it would be troublesome to get rid of Xue Xiao. Also, President Druo and the others said that Xue Xiao returned this time to compete for the position of the Alchemist Alliance's president. Mo Hongtian continued, right now, Xue Xiao has already bribed many of the elders in the Alchemist Alliance. It is said that most of the elders have already been bribed. If this continues, President Druo and the others will be taken over by Xue Xiao. Mo Qingyun's frown deepened when he heard Mo Hongtian's words. He said in a deep voice, "I'll make a trip to the Alchemist Alliance." Chapter 148. Young Lord. Just as Mo Qingyun was about to leave the Azure Jade Mansion, Qi Lian rushed back and greeted him with a salute. At this moment, Qi Lian's cultivation base had risen to the 6th level of Yuan Dan stage. It seemed like he had refined a lot of people's blood essences recently. When Mo Qingyun discovered that Qi Lian's cultivation base had risen to the 6th level of Yuan Dan stage, he was pleasantly surprised. The speed of Qi Lian's cultivation base had exceeded his expectations. Mo Qingyun asked, "How's the progress on the matter of the Heavenly Dragon sect and the Mount Tai sect?" "Everything is going smoothly." Qi Lian smiled faintly and reported to Mo Qingyun. Other than a small number of elders with cultivation bases above the 8th level of Yuan Dan stage, 60% of the other elders and protectors with cultivation bases above the Yuan Dan stage have been refined into blood slaves. Some of the rebellious ones have had their blood essences refined by me. Very good. You've done a good job. Upon hearing Qi Lian's reply, Mo Qingyun was satisfied. He nodded and said, "Accompany me to the Alchemist Union." "Yes." Qi Lian nodded and followed behind Mo Qingyun. After an hour, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian arrived at the Alchemist Union. As soon as Mo Qingyun entered the Alchemist Union, he felt an oppressive atmosphere. Everyone looked tense and had a heavy heart. When everyone saw Mo Qingyun's arrival, their expressions couldn't help but change. Complicated expressions appeared on their faces. Some were sympathetic, some were gloating. Mo Qingyun took in the crowd's expressions. He did not say anything and walked directly to the residence of Du Luo and the other two. "Stop right there." At this moment, when Mo Qingyun walked into the Alchemist Union, a cold voice came from the side. Then, Mo Qingyun saw a middle-aged man walking toward him with a cold expression. Looking at the middle-aged man, Mo Qingyun narrowed his eyes and asked coldly, "What's the matter?" Mo Qingyun had some impression of this middle-aged man in front of him. Previously, when he came to the Alchemist Union, this man often complimented him. He didn't expect that after not seeing him for a while, this person would actually put on an arrogant attitude in front of him. However, after a short moment of surprise, Mo Qingyun felt relieved. This person's actions were probably because he had sided with Xue Xiao and received Xue Xiao's instructions. This is the Alchemist Alliance Guild. Outsiders are not allowed to enter. Leave immediately. This person coldly glanced at Mo Qingyun and a cold smile appeared on his lips. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite. Impolite to me? Hearing this person's words, Mo Qingyun narrowed his eyes and looked at the other party. He gestured to Qi Lian and said, "Break his legs and throw him out." "Yes, young lord." After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qi Lian sneered and attacked the middle-aged man. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, the middle-aged man instantly panicked and hurriedly said to Mo Qingyun, "Mo Qingyun, I'm a senior manager of the Alchemist Union. Aren't you afraid of being punished by the Alchemist Union for treating me like this?" "Senior manager? Punishment?" Hearing this person's words, Mo Qingyun disdainfully curled his lips and said, "Don't think that you can put on airs in front of me just because you have sided with Xue Xiao. You're qualified to do so." Mo Qingyan paused and said, "Also, you have to understand one thing. You're not Xue Xiao. You don't have a half-step Pill Palace realm expert protecting you. If I want to kill you, it's as easy as crushing an ant." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the middle-aged man's face instantly turned pale. He suddenly understood the crux of the matter. That's right, Xue Xiao had a half-step Pill Palace realm expert protecting him. He could be unbridled and arrogant. But he had nothing. He was just an ordinary manager of the Alchemist Alliance Guild. With his status, he was simply courting death by being arrogant in front of Mo Qingyan. One had to know that Xue Zhenjiang, who was the Xue clan's patriarch, was killed by Mo Qingyun when he crossed swords with Mo Qingyan. The difference in status between him and Xue Zhenjiang wasn't small. If Mo Qingyun wanted to kill him, it would be as easy as crushing an ant. When he thought of this, the man suddenly panicked and begged Mo Qingyun, Young Master Dan, I was blind. I didn't recognize you just now. I beg you to forgive me and spare me this once." Aren't you a senior manager? Didn't you want to be rude to me?" Seeing the middle-aged man's actions, Mo Qingyun revealed a playful smile and asked him back, My mouth is cheap. I deserve to be beaten." The middle-aged man raised his hand and slapped his own mouth as he knelt in front of Mo Qingyun. Slap, 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 slap. Then the middle-aged man knelt on the ground and slapped his own mouth continuously. Soon, his face was swollen. Seeing the middle-aged man's actions, Mo Qingyun looked at him with disdain. He ignored him and brought Qi Lian to Du Luo's residence. After a while, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian arrived at the residence of Du Luo and the other two. "Good disciple, you're here." Seeing Mo Qingyun's arrival, Du Luo and the other two squeezed out a smile and greeted Mo Qingyun. After replying to Du Luo and the other two, Mo Qingyun did not beat around the bush and directly asked, "How is the situation in the Alchemist Alliance Guild now?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Du Luo and the other two fell silent. After a while, Du Luo sighed and said, "AI. Now in the Alchemist Alliance Guild, more than 70% of the elders and managers have been bought by Xue Xiao and support Xue Xiao to replace my position as the guild leader. These fence-sitters." After Du Luo's words, Zhao Qi said angrily, "You can't blame them. Who asked Xue Xiao to be a fourth-grade alchemist at such a young age?" Du Luo sighed again and said, "Not only that, Xue Xiao also got the documents of the Alchemist Alliance Guild branch in the Royal City and the support of the Du family in the Royal City. Facing such a background, it's understandable that those people in the guild changed sides. The documents of the Alchemist Alliance Guild branch in the Royal City and the support of the Du family in the Royal City." After hearing Du Luo's words, Mo Qingyun frowned and thought to himself, "It seems that I've underestimated this Xue Xiao." Mo Qingyun did not expect that a junior from the Xue family would be involved with so many forces. It seemed that things were getting more and more complicated. At this time, while Mo Qingyun and Du Luo were talking, a group of people walked in from outside the small courtyard. When these people walked in, one of the old men coldly snorted and glared at Mo Qingyun. "Humph! How dare you, a little apprentice alchemist, attack a senior manager of the guild? Do you still have the guild's rules in your eyes? Attack a senior manager of the guild?" Mo Qingyun glanced at the steward, then smiled playfully at the old man and said, "Old dog, you can eat shit, but you can't speak carelessly. Who saw me attack him? Little thief, you're courting death." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the old man's face immediately darkened, and he raised his hand to strike at Mo Qingyun. Seeing the old man's action, Du Luo's face darkened. He blocked the old man's attack and said unhappily, "Elder Miao, you're being impudent." "Humph." Seeing his palm strike blocked by Du Luo, Elder Miao's face darkened and said, "If it wasn't for you, brat, could it be that manager he would have attacked himself? You'll have to ask manager he himself." Mo Qingyun curled his lips and shrugged as he looked at manager he. Seeing Mo Qingyun's gaze, manager he immediately trembled and stammered. He threatened me. Hearing manager He's words, Elder Miao's face darkened and he coldly shouted at Mo Qingyun, "Humph. Brat, what else do you have to say now? Although you didn't attack him personally, you can't escape responsibility." Threatened? Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and said to manager Miao playfully, "Old dog, now that I'm threatening you, will you immediately go and bring me a bowl of asterisk to eat? Brat, you're courting death." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Elder Miao's face darkened and he glared angrily at Mo Qingyun. Seeing Elder Miao's actions, Mo Qingyun curled his lips and said disdainfully, "Old dog, I just threatened you. Why don't you go and eat asterisk? Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, everyone's expression changed, and they suddenly understood the mystery behind it. Yes, if someone threatened you, you would harm yourself. This excuse was too lame. Slap, 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 slap. At this moment, while everyone was still in a daze, the sound of slapping was heard. "You're really sharp-tongued." Following the sound of the slap, Mo Qingyun saw a young man beside Elder Miao walk out with a cold smile. He said to Mo Qingyun, "Brat, you're Mo Qingyun, right? Shui Xiao, what do you want?" Chapter 149. President Du Luo, you don't have to be so nervous. I'm just going to say a few words to this kid. Seeing Du Luo and the others' nervous actions, Shui Xiao smiled coldly. He looked at Mo Qingyun and asked, "Kid, the Alchemist Alliance Guild's president's token is with you, right?" "That's right." Mo Qingyun's face was indifferent. He looked at Shui Xiao and said playfully, "What? You want it?" Just now, Mo Qingyun heard from Du Luo and the others that Shui Xiao wanted to become the Alchemist Alliance Guild's president. Now, Shui Xiao was asking him about the president's token. Naturally, he wanted to get the president's token from him. After getting confirmation from Mo Qingyun, Shui Xiao's face darkened. He ordered Mo Qingyun, "Kid, the Alchemist Alliance Guild's president's token isn't something an alchemy apprentice like you can have. Hand it over." "Hand it over?" After hearing Shui Xiao's words, Mo Qingyun looked at Shui Xiao with disdain and said, "Even if I have to hand it over, it doesn't seem to have anything to do with you, right? With your status, I don't think you have the right to have the president's token, right?" "I don't have the right." After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Shui Xiao immediately sneered and said, "I'm a grade 4 alchemist. Currently, I'm the person with the highest level of alchemist in Lianyun City's Alchemist Alliance Guild. You're saying that I don't have the right to have the president's token?" After hearing Shui Xiao's words, Mo Qingyun's eyes narrowed. He revealed a playful smile and said, "From what you're saying, it seems that whoever has the highest level of alchemist has the right to have the president's token. Of course, the position of the Alchemist Alliance Guild's president is naturally held by someone with the highest level of alchemist." After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Shui Xiao had an arrogant look on his face. He raised his head as though he was already the president of the Alchemist Alliance Guild. Seeing Shui Xiao's expression, the playfulness on Mo Qingyun's face deepened. He smiled and said, "Why don't we have a match? If you win, I'll give you the chairman's token. You want to compete with me in alchemy?" Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Shui Xiao couldn't help but look at Mo Qingyun in disdain. In his opinion, Mo Qingyun competing with him in alchemy was simply an idiot's behavior. In this Lianyun city, who doesn't know that he is a tier 4 alchemist, whose alchemy ability is higher than his? Mo Qingyun actually wanted to compete with Shui Xiao in alchemy. At this moment, not only was Shui Xiao shocked, but the others were also shocked. They couldn't believe their ears. With Shui Xiao's status as a tier 4 alchemist, Mo Qingyun competing with him in alchemy was simply crazy. "What, are you afraid?" At this moment, while everyone was shocked, Mo Qingyun revealed a provocative gaze and looked at Shui Xiao. "Afraid?" Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Shui Xiao immediately laughed and said disdainfully, "Brat, are you joking? You think I'm afraid of you?" Mo Qingyun looked at Xue Xiao with disdain and urged, "If you're not afraid, then stop talking nonsense. Brat, since you want to humiliate yourself, I'll fulfill your wish." Xue Xiao's face darkened and coldly said to Mo Qingyun, "3 days later, I'll compete with you in front of everyone in Lian City. I hope that when you lose, you won't go back on your word. You don't have to worry about this. When the time comes, just don't go back on your word." Mo Qingyun calmly looked at Xue Xiao and said with a faint smile, "Also, I want to ask, if you lose, what will you take out?" Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Xue Xiao once again laughed disdainfully, as if he had heard the funniest joke in the world. "I'll lose? Don't be so confident. Let's talk about this first. If you lose, what will you take out?" Mo Qingyun didn't look at Xue Xiao. Instead, he took out the president's token and knocked it on his hand, saying, "This is the president's token. You can't get something without risking anything." Looking at the president's token in Mo Qingyun's hand, Xue Xiao's face darkened. He took out a pill and said, "Brat, this is an early grade 5 pill called the Broken Yuan Dan. After taking it, it can increase the chances of breaking through to the Yuan Dan stage by 30%. I'll use it to bet with you." Early grade 5 pill. Seeing Xue Xiao take out the Broken Yuan Dan, everyone's expression changed and their eyes flashed with excitement. The Broken Yuan Dan was a good thing. As long as they got it, there would be a 30% chance of increasing their clan member to the Yuan Dan stage. However, while everyone was excited, Mo Qingyun disdainfully curled his lips and said, "A grade 5 pill, and you want to bet the president's token? You're dreaming. If you can't take out anything valuable, I think you'd better not bet." After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Xue Xiao's face twitched a few times. His face darkened, and he said, "Brat, don't talk nonsense. Just say what you want to bet, and I'll accept it. Is that so?" Mo Qingyun looked at Xue Xiao playfully and said with a smile, "I'm afraid you won't dare if I say it." "I won't dare?" Xue Xiao sneered and said disdainfully, "As long as you dare to bet, I'll accompany you. How about this? Let's make the bet bigger. How about we bet our lives?" Mo Qingyun's eyes narrowed slightly. He glanced at Xue Xiao and said, "If I lose, then you can take my guild master's token and my life. But if you lose, then I don't want anything from you. Just leave your life to me." Bet their lives. After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, everyone was shocked and looked at Mo Qingyun as if he was crazy. At this moment, Mo Qingyun's actions, in everyone's eyes, there were only 2 possibilities. One was that Mo Qingyun was crazy, and the other was that Mo Qingyun was 100% sure that he could win against Xue Xiao. However, Xue Xiao was a grade 4 alchemist. Did Mo Qingyun really have a chance of winning against him? After thinking about it this way, Mo Qingyun gave everyone the feeling that there was only one possibility. Mo Qingyun was crazy. After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Xue Xiao's expression couldn't help but be shocked. For a moment, he didn't know how to respond. He thought of many possibilities, but he didn't think that Mo Qingyun would bet their lives with him. Betting their lives was no joke. If he wasn't careful, he would have to give up his life here. At this moment, everyone's eyes gathered on Xue Xiao. They wanted to see how he would respond. Ha! Under the gazes of everyone, Xue Xiao suddenly roared with laughter, and he looked at Mo Qingyun with a savage smile. "Kid, I really admire your courage and wisdom. However, I'm afraid you've miscalculated this time. You're too naive if you want to use this to scare me. Kid, I'll bet with you." Xue Xiao sneered and continued, "3 days later, we'll bet our lives in front of everyone in Lian City. Whoever loses will commit suicide in front of everyone." After he finished speaking, Xue Xiao immediately laughed as if he had already won. However, thinking about it, with his ability as a grade 4 alchemist, competing with Mo Qingyun, an alchemy apprentice, was indeed bullying. So it was like this. At this moment, after hearing Xue Xiao's words, everyone's expression changed. They seemed to have understood Mo Qingyun's plan. Mo Qingyun wanted to bet his life with Xue Xiao. It seemed that he didn't really want to bet with Xue Xiao. Instead, he wanted to scare Xue Xiao away. However, there was an unforeseen event. Mo Qingyun's plan was actually seen through by Xue Xiao. In this case, Mo Qingyun's current actions were like lifting a rock and smashing it on his own feet. If he lost to Xue Xiao, it wouldn't be as simple as handing over the president's token. He would also lose his life. Miscalculated? When everyone looked at Mo Qingyun with sympathy, the smile on Mo Qingyun's face became even wider. He was probably the only one who knew what he was really thinking. Kid, wash your head clean and wait for me to come back in 3 days. Xue Xiao threw down a proud sentence and laughed loudly. He then led everyone out of Du Luo's courtyard. Looking at Xue Xiao's current appearance, it seemed that he had already won. He only needed to wait for 3 days and come back to take Mo Qingyun's head. You too. Chapter 150. Qingyun, you're too impulsive. After Xue Xiao left, Du Luo revealed a worried expression and said to Mo Qingyun, "You shouldn't have competed with Xue Xiao. His alchemy skills are far superior to ours." Yeah, although your alchemy skills are good, there's still a gap between you and Xue Xiao. After Du Luo's words, Suyu also had a worried expression and said, "I suspect that Xue Xiao's alchemy skills have already reached the middle of the 4th grade. What's there to be afraid of? If worst comes to worst, we'll just give the president's token to Xue Xiao." Zhao Qi's expression became cold and angry. "But if they want to deal with Qingyun, I definitely won't allow it. That's the only way. Although we won't keep our promise, at least we can save Qingyun's life." After hearing Zhao Qi's words, Du Luo and Suyu both nodded, tacitly agreeing with Zhao Qi's idea. Looking at Du Luo and the other two's reactions, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but bitterly smile and unconsciously shake his head. Du Luo and the other two seemed to have too little confidence in him. The competition hadn't even started yet, but they already thought that they would lose without a doubt. "Teachers, you don't need to worry." Mo Qingyun smiled at Du Luo and the other two and said, "There's no guarantee of losing a bet. Besides, don't tell me you have so little confidence in me. This isn't a matter of confidence. It's that Xue Xiao's alchemy skills are really high." After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Du Luo and the other two became annoyed. Mo Qingyun smiled helplessly when he saw the expressions of Du Luo and the others. However, he didn't explain anything. In Mo Qingyun's opinion, after 3 days, he would compete with Xue Xiao and everything would be clear. Subsequently, Mo Qingyun conversed with Du Luo's group of 3 for a while before leaving with Qi Lian. After leaving the Alchemist Union Guild, Mo Qingyun did not return to the Azure Jade Mansion. Instead, he brought Qi Lian to the City Lord's mansion. He intended to ask Wan Lianyun for help. A moment later, Mo Qingyun and Huang Xiaolong arrived at the City Lord's mansion. Under the guidance of the guards, they arrived at Wan Lianyun's residence. "Mr. Mo, please forgive me for not going out to welcome you." Seeing Mo Qingyun's arrival, Wan Lianyun immediately smiled and greeted Mo Qingyun. "Please come in and have a seat." "City Lord Wan, you're too polite." Mo Qingyun responded politely to Wan Lianyun's politeness. After Mo Qingyun sat down, he didn't beat around the bush and directly said to Wan Lianyun, "City Lord Wan, actually, I came here this time because I have something to trouble you with." "Oh." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Wan Lianyun was curious and said, "Mr. Mo, if there's anything you need from me, just let me know. I'll do my best to help. It's actually very simple. I want to ask City Lord Wan to help me deal with some people when the time comes." Mo Qingyun briefly explained the situation to Wan Lianyun. After hearing Mo Qingyun's explanation, Wan Lianyun immediately sucked in a breath of cold air. He was shocked by Mo Qingyun's plan. Mo Qingyun actually planned to wipe out the elders of the Sky Dragon sect and the Mount Tai sect, taking drastic measures to deal with them. This was too crazy. While he was shocked, Wan Lianyun also started to worry. He said, "Mr. Mo, your idea is good, but how are we going to get the guardians of the Mount Tai sect and the Sky Dragon sect to go to the Xue family?" Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and said to Wan Lianyun, "City Lord Wan, you don't have to worry about this. I have my own plans when the time comes. If that's the case, I'll follow Mr. Mo's arrangements from now on. After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Wan Lianyun didn't say anything else and replied to Mo Qingyun. When he said this, Wan Lianyun looked expectant. He really wanted to see how Mo Qingyun would carry out his plan. After that, Mo Qingyun and the other two left the city lord's mansion and quietly went to the Shui family. Hiss. After arriving at the Shui family, Wan Lianyun gasped when he saw the way the Shui family addressed Mo Qingyun. He was shocked. All the elders of the Shui family actually called Mo Qingyun master. Didn't this mean that the entire Shui family was under Mo Qingyun's control? He clearly remembered that the Shui family and Mo Qingyun were like fire and water. But now, Mo Qingyun actually controlled the entire Shui family without anyone noticing. This kind of ability was really terrifying. If Wan Lianyun hadn't seen it with his own eyes, he wouldn't have believed it even if he was beaten to death. Qi Lian, go and make the arrangements. After arriving at the Shui family, Mo Qingyun instructed Qi Lian. After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qi Lian began to give orders to the blood slaves. He asked them to bring the elders with a cultivation base of LV7 and LV8 Yuan dance stage from the Sky Dragon Triad and Mount Tai sect who had not been subdued to the Shui family. After about 15 minutes, LV7 Yuan dance stage elder from the Sky Dragon Triad was brought to the Shui family by a blood slave. Li Shi Wang Yu. Wan Lianyun recognized the two of them as soon as he saw them. His face was filled with surprise. He really didn't expect that Mo Qingyun actually had a way to bring the elders of the Sky Dragon Triad here. Wan Lianyun, Mo Qingyun. When Wan Lianyun saw them, Elder Li Shi also saw Mo Qingyun and Wang Yu. His face darkened as he said, "Why are you in the Shui family, Bang?" However, before Li Shi could finish his words, Wang Ju, who was standing beside him, struck out with his palm and sent him flying. He was severely injured. Puff! After receiving Wang Ju's palm, Li Shi immediately spat out a mouthful of blood. His face was filled with anger as he glared at Wang Ju and said, "Wang Ju, are you crazy?" At this moment, while Li Shi was fuming, Mo Qingyun said to Wan Lianyun, "I'll have to trouble City Lord want to kill this person." All right. After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Wan Lianyun didn't hesitate and immediately attacked Li Shi. Half-step to Pill Palace Realm. Feeling the aura from Wan Lianyun's body, Li Shi's face instantly changed and revealed a terrified expression. Bang! Facing Wan Lianyun's attack, Li Shi couldn't even resist. He was sent flying by Wan Lianyun's palm, and his aura was completely gone. In just one move, Li Shi, an LV7 Yuan dance stage martial artist, was dead. Seeing that Wan Lianyun killed Li Shi with a single palm, Qi Lian immediately kept Li Shi's corpse and continued to instruct the blood slaves to bring the rest over. At this moment, with Wan Lianyun around, Mo Qingyun didn't let Qi Lian refine Li Shi into a blood slave. After all, the fewer people who knew about refining a blood slave, the better. Not long after, another LV7 Yuan dance stage martial artist from the Heavenly Dragon sect was brought over by one of Qi Lian's blood slaves. After seeing this, Mo Qingyun didn't hesitate at all and immediately ordered Wan Lianyun to kill him. After that, Qi Lian collected his corpse. Just like that, in the following day, more than 10 Yuan dance stage martial artists from the Mount Tai sect and the Heavenly Dragon sect were all killed by Wan Lianyun. After witnessing this scene, even Wan Lianyun's state of mind couldn't help but tremble. This was too crazy. In just one day, the backbone forces of the Mount Tai sect and the Heavenly Dragon sect were destroyed by Mo Qingyun. At this moment, Wan Lianyun finally understood what Mo Qingyun meant by removing the firewood from under the cauldron of the Mount Tai sect and the Heavenly Dragon sect. It seems like I've underestimated Mr. Mo. At this moment, Wan Lianyun couldn't help but sigh in his heart. The way he looked at Mo Qingyun changed a little, and there was a faint trace of respect in his eyes. In his opinion, if Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian wanted to do this to the city governor's mansion, he was afraid that he wouldn't be able to defend himself. What made Wan Lianyun feel fortunate was that his relationship with Mo Qingyun was not like the relationship between the Mount Tai sect and the Heavenly Dragon sect and Mo Qingyun. At this moment, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian had become more and more mysterious in Wan Lianyun's eyes. At this moment, just as Mo Qingyun was about to let Qi Lian order the blood slave to bring more people over, Qi Lian frowned and came in front of him. He said in a low voice, "Young lord, we've been exposed. I'm afraid we can't continue." Oh, Mo Qingyun frowned when he heard Qi Lian's words. Without hesitation, he stood up and said, "Let's go." Okay. Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qi Lian and Wan Lianyun both nodded and left the Shui residence with Mo Qingyun. After leaving the Shui residence, Mo Qingyun parted ways with Wan Lianyun and returned to the Azure Jade Mansion with Qi Lian. "Young lord, I want to refine the blood essence of those people just now," Qi Lian said to Mo Qingyun after returning to the Azure Jade Mansion. "Okay, go ahead." Mo Qingyun nodded and agreed to Qi Lian's request. Chapter 151. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. At this moment in the Mount Tai sect, a powerful aura was emitted from a secret chamber and instantly covered the entire Mount Tai sect. Half-Step Pill Palace. The person who emitted this powerful aura was a Half-Step Pill Palace realm expert. There was actually a Half-Step Pill Palace realm expert hiding in the Mount Tai sect. If others were to know of this news, they would definitely be shocked. Shui Haoyin, have finally broken through to the Half-Step Pill Palace realm. After the powerful aura was emitted, an arrogant laughter instantly spread throughout the entire Mount Tai sect. "Wan Lianyun, it's time for us to settle the grudge of the past." As soon as this person finished speaking, he walked into the secret chamber and stood in the air above the Mount Tai sect. A Half-Step Pill Palace realm expert already possessed some of the techniques of a Pill Palace realm expert. They could barely stand in the air. As this person stood in the air above the Mount Tai sect, the people in the Mount Tai sect were immediately alarmed and approached him. When Tai Zhenhai saw this person in the air, his face was instantly filled with joy. He excitedly said, "Great-grandfather, your cultivation has broken through to the Half-Step Pill Palace realm." Hearing Tai Zhenhai's words, Shui Haoyin revealed a gratified smile and said, "Zhenhai, you've done well. Under your management, everything in the Mount Tai sect is in order. Thank you for your praise, great-grandfather. This is what I should do." Hearing Shui Haoyin's words, Tai Zhenhai revealed a humble expression and replied with a bow. There's the aura of a Pill Palace realm expert." While Tai Zhenhai was speaking, Shui Haoyin suddenly frowned. His body moved and flashed to the side. Seeing Shui Haoyin's actions, Tai Zhenhai's expression immediately changed. He quickly followed and explained, "Great-grandfather, there's no need to panic. Mr. Yuan Sheng is one of us." Hearing Tai Zhenhai's words, Shui Haoyin stopped and looked at the Half-Step Pill Palace realm expert Yuan Sheng in surprise. He smiled faintly and said, "Mr. Yuan Sheng, it's an honor for you to visit my Mount Tai sect." Mr. Shui is too polite." Hearing Shui Haoyin's courteous words, Yuan Sheng revealed a faint smile and replied courteously, "Shui Xiao greets the patriarch." While Shui Haoyin and Yuan Sheng were exchanging pleasantries, Shui Xiao, who was beside Yuan Sheng, bowed respectfully to Shui Haoyin. "Xiao, no need to be so courteous." Glancing at Shui Xiao, Shui Haoyin revealed a gratified smile. "I've heard about you, becoming a 4th-grade alchemist at such a young age. Not bad, not bad." Hearing Shui Haoyin's praise, Shui Xiao replied humbly, "Thank you for your praise, ancestor. I can achieve what I have today because of the guidance of Master and the elders. Neither arrogant nor rash. Very good." Seeing Shui Xiao's expression, Shui Haoyin nodded with satisfaction once again. "Mr. Shui, sect leader Tai, young Master Shui Xiao will be competing with the kid from the Mo clan in alchemy later. Let's go there earlier." At this moment, Yuan Sheng reminded Shui Haoyin and the others while they were conversing. "Alchemy competition?" Shui Haoyin was puzzled when he heard this. "It's like this. Following this, Taizhanhai and the others explained to Shui Haoyan as they stood up and headed to the Alchemist Alliance Guild. Azure Jade Mansion, Mo Qingyun's residence. Yuan Dan Stage, 9th level aura. At this moment, Mo Qingyun, who was cultivating, suddenly opened his eyes. A hint of surprise flashed across his eyes as he thought to himself, Qi Lian's cultivation has broken through to the 9th level of Yuan Dan Stage. This is good news for now. After discovering this, Mo Qingyun's body moved and headed towards Qi Lian's residence. Young Lord. Qi Lian smiled faintly when he saw Mo Qingyun's arrival. He stood up and bowed to Mo Qingyun. It's almost time for the alchemy competition. Let's go. Mo Qingyun instructed Qi Lian before he stood up and walked out of Qi Lian's courtyard to the Azure Jade Mansion's conference hall. Yes, Qi Lian nodded when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. He followed behind Mo Qingyun and left the courtyard. After a while, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian arrived at the conference hall. Mo Hongtian and the others were already waiting there. Mo Qingyun was surprised when he saw the people in front of him. Mo Ling and the other girls whom he had not seen for a few months were also in the crowd. After a few months of cultivation, Mo Xian's cultivation had advanced to the 4th level of the true energy realm, while Mo Zhao's cultivation had advanced to the 2nd level of the true energy realm. As for Mo Ling, she did not cultivate due to her physique. However, she managed to stabilize the flame energy in her body with the qi guiding technique that Mo Qingyun taught her. Mo Hongtian smiled faintly when he saw Mo Qingyun's arrival. He said to him, Qingyun, let's go. Grandfather, wait a moment. Hearing Mo Hongtian's words, Mo Qingyun furrowed his brows. After a brief moment of silence, he said, This time, Shui Xiao and I have a life and death duel. If I win against Shui Xiao, I will definitely kill him. But if that's the case, the half-step Pill Palace realm expert beside him won't let this matter go. Mo Qingyun paused for a moment before he continued. Therefore, the alchemy competition this time will be extremely dangerous. Therefore, I think that those who are below the Yuan Dan realm shouldn't go with us. Brat, are you looking down on us because our cultivation is too low and we will be a burden to you? When she heard Mo Qingyun's words, Mo Xian glared at him and spoke in displeasure. Ugh! Mo Qingyun felt distressed when he heard Mo Xian's words. This last really knew how to undermine him. Pucci. While Mo Qingyun was smiling bitterly, Mo Xian smiled sweetly and glared at Mo Qingyun. All right, I'm just joking with you. A sneeze from a half-step Pill Palace realm expert can injure me. I won't join the fun. However, you have to be careful later. A sneeze can injure her? Everyone in the Mo clan was dumbfounded when they heard Mo Xian's words. This last really knew how to make an analogy. However, this was also the truth. After all, the difference between the true energy realm and the half-step Pill Palace realm was too great. Mo Qingyun heaved a sigh of relief when he heard Mo Xian's words and nodded his head. At this moment, Mo Hongtian said, Since that's the case for safety reasons, those who are below the Yuan Dan realm shouldn't go. After knowing Mo Qingyun's thoughts, the Mo clan didn't show any dissatisfaction with Mo Qingyun's arrangement. They knew that Mo Qingyun did this for their safety. Shortly after, Mo Qingyun and the others left the Azure Jade Mansion and headed to the Alchemist Union. In the end, only Mo Hongtian, Mo Kuei-shin, and Mo Yuru followed Mo Qingyun to the Alchemist Union. With the help of the fire esoteric crystal provided by Mo Qingyun, their cultivation had successfully broken through to the Yuan Dan realm. After an hour, Mo Qingyun and the others arrived at the Alchemist Union. After arriving at the Alchemist Union, Missouri Qingyun and the others headed directly to the Alchemist Union's Alchemy Square. At this moment, the Alchemy Square was filled with people. Basically, all the famous people in Lianyan City had arrived. That's young Master Dan. I heard that he and Shui Xiao are having an alchemy competition. It's a life and death bet. Shui Xiao is actually a grade 4 alchemist. Can young Master Dan win? I don't think so. However, I'm looking forward to it. Seeing Mo Qingyun's arrival, the crowd started whispering to each other. Mo Qingyun didn't care about the crowd's reaction. He walked directly to Du Luo and the others on the high platform. At this moment, Wan Lianyun and the others from the City Lord's mansion were sitting together with Du Luo and the others. When they saw Mo Qingyun arrive, they greeted him with a faint smile. As for the people from the Heavenly Dragon sect and the Mount Tai sect, they sat on the high platform opposite Du Luo and the others. They looked at each other from afar, forming a confrontation scene. Chapter 152. Teacher, City Lord Wan, Elders, Mo Qingyun called out to everyone as he walked closer. Mr. Mo, just do your best. Leave the rest to us. Seeing Mo Qingyun walk closer, Wan Lianyun smiled and encouraged Mo Qingyun. That's right. You just need to focus on alchemy. We old guys will take care of everything else. After hearing Wan Lianyun's words, Zhao Qi's face also became serious as he encouraged Mo Qingyun. Okay. Hearing everyone's words, Mo Qingyun nodded and walked towards the center of the Alchemy Plaza. When Mo Qingyun arrived at the center of the Alchemy Plaza, Xue Xiao also arrived with a cold smile on his face. Seeing Mo Qingyun arrive, the judge's expression became serious. He said to Mo Qingyun, "Since the two of you are here, let the alchemy competition begin. Kid, you've got guts. You actually dared to come." Sizing up Mo Qingyun, Xue Xiao smiled coldly and said, "I'll give you one last chance. Give me the president's token, kneel down, kowtow to me, and destroy your own cultivation. If you do, I'll spare your dog life." Hearing Xue Xiao's arrogant words, Mo Qingyun looked at him with disdain and said, "Even if you kowtow to me and destroy your own cultivation, I won't spare your dog life. Oof. You won't cry until you see the coffin. I want to see how good your alchemy skills are." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Xue Xiao snorted and took out his alchemy cauldron. Seeing Xue Xiao take out his alchemy cauldron, Mo Qingyun didn't hesitate and took out the crimson flame cauldron that Suyu gave him. Clang, clang. The two alchemy cauldrons landed on the ground and immediately made a metallic sound, stirring up a cloud of dust. Mysterious Grade Pill Cauldron. After seeing Mo Qingyun take out the scarlet flame cauldron, Xue Xiao revealed a mocking expression. He curled his lips and said, "You have the nerve to take out such a cheap pill cauldron." The pill cauldron Xue Xiao took out was a low-grade artifact. It was indeed much higher than Mo Qingyun's scarlet flame cauldron. The quality of a pill cauldron for an alchemist was extremely helpful during the alchemy process. A good pill cauldron could not only assist the alchemist in controlling the flame during the refining process, but could also increase the success rate of refining pills and improve the quality of the pills. Relying on a cauldron? Hearing Xue Xiao's words, Mo Qingyun looked at him with disdain. A mocking smile appeared on his face as he said, "Now that you mention it, I suddenly feel that using a Xian grade cauldron to compete with you is a waste. An ordinary cauldron is enough." After saying this, Mo Qingyun put away the scarlet flame cauldron and said to the judge, "Give me the most ordinary pill cauldron. Give me the most ordinary pill cauldron." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, everyone present was stunned. What was Mo Qingyun trying to do? He wanted to compete with a fourth-grade alchemist, Xue Xiao, and he actually wanted to use the trashiest pill cauldron? Was he crazy? Or was he courting death? Are you sure you want to use the most ordinary pill cauldron? Hearing Mo Qingyun's request, the judge was also stunned. He quickly confirmed with Mo Qingyun. That's right. Mo Qingyun's face was serious as he nodded his head. Seeing Mo Qingyun's confirmation, the judge did not say anything else. He ordered the people beside him to give Mo Qingyun the most ordinary pill cauldron. Compared to the shock of the spectators, Xue Xiao's heart was more moved. He still felt that Mo Qingyun was humiliating him. Mo Qingyun's actions were obviously looking down on him. He felt that using the most ordinary pill cauldron would allow him to easily beat him. "Brat, since you want to die, I will fulfill your wish." After thinking about this, Xue Xiao's face turned cold. He said, "I hope that when you lose, You won't use the inferior pill cauldron as an excuse to act shamelessly. You don't need to worry about that. Mo Qingyun's face was calm as he replied. I also hope that when you lose, you won't use the superior pill cauldron as an excuse to act shamelessly. Humph. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Xue Xiao coldly snorted. He did not waste any more words and began to refine his pill. Clang! While Xue Xiao was refining his pill, Mo Qingyun's ordinary pill cauldron was brought up. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun smiled at Xue Xiao and said, Do you want to check it? Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Xue Xiao's face immediately turned ugly. Mo Qingyun's words were obviously disgusting. At this moment, as long as one was not blind, one could see the quality of the pill cauldron in front of Mo Qingyun. The rough workmanship was clearly an iron cauldron, but it looked similar to a clay jar. This pill cauldron was no different from scrap metal. However, the more inferior Mo Qingyun's pill cauldron was, the more unhappy Xue Xiao felt. The feeling of being mocked grew stronger. If he were to lose in the end, he would be King disgraced beyond measure. However, at this moment, while Xue Xiao was feeling depressed, Mo Qingyun clicked his tongue and said, Tsk, using such a high-grade pill cauldron to compete is a waste of talent. Such a high-grade pill cauldron? Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the surrounding people's expressions became strange. For a moment, they did not know what to say. Big brother, although the weather is good now and there is no lightning strike for showing off, is it really okay for you to show off like this? At this moment, the same thought appeared in everyone's mind. Qingyun, what is this kid doing? Using such a high-grade pill cauldron to compete will put him at a disadvantage in refining pills. Forget it. It's useless to say anything at this point. Let's just wait and see. Everyone, don't worry too much. In my opinion, Mr. Mo must have his own plans for doing this. At this moment, Du Luo and the others expressed their thoughts. While Du Luo and the others were worried, Tai Zhenhai and the others were laughing coldly. This Mo family brat is courting death. He actually used such a trashy pill cauldron to compete with Xiao in refining pills. No matter what tricks he plays, the result will be the same. When the competition ends, I will personally kill this kid and let him know the consequences of offending our Xue family. Not only do we have to deal with this kid, but also the Mo family, the City Lore Mansion, and Du Luo. This time, we have to get rid of all of them. That's right. Now that we have Mr. Yuansheng and great-grandfather, two half-step Pill Palace realm experts, it's more than enough to destroy them. At this moment, the people of Mount Tai sect and Heavenly Dragon sect all had cold smiles on their faces. At the center of the pill refining square. At this moment, when everyone was having their own thoughts, Mo Qingyun finally took action and took out the ingredients one by one. In a short while, the icy soul spiritual grass, fiery sun mosquito fruit, bamboo muslin cloud luster flower, phantom wave sun branch, and other spiritual herbs appeared in front of him. After taking out the ingredients, Mo Qingyun raised his hand and injected a strand of soul fire into the pill cauldron. Demonic flame. I didn't expect young Master Dan to be able to control such a flame. You really live up to your reputation. As soon as Mo Qingyun's soul fire entered the pill cauldron, it immediately set off a shocking heat wave, causing everyone's expression to change. At the same time, everyone was shocked when they saw Xue Zhao's actions. Look, young Master Xue Zhao's alchemy technique is so powerful. His movements are so light, just like a dragonfly skimming the surface of the water. That's called the dragonfly skimming the surface of the water. It's a very powerful alchemy technique. I didn't expect young Master Xue Xiao to have mastered it. It's not just the dragonfly skimming the surface of the water. There's also the wild goose breaking wave hand, which is even more powerful than the dragonfly skimming the surface of the water. Young Master Xue Xiao is so powerful, as expected of a fourth-grade alchemist. Seeing Xue Zhao's hand movements, everyone sighed endlessly. Hearing the words of the surrounding people, Xue Xiao revealed a proud smile. He looked at Mo Qingyun and said, Kid, You haven't seen such a profound alchemy technique before, right? Today, I'll let you see what alchemy is. Let me see what alchemy is. Chapter 153. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he raised his hand and pointed at the alchemy materials beside him. Under Mo Qingyun's touch, the alchemy materials were like small fish, scrambling to jump into the cauldron. This was the carp leaping over the dragon gate. After seeing Mo Qingyun's alchemy technique, some people who had some understanding of alchemy were shocked. This alchemy technique was much better than Shui Zhao's dragonfly skimming over the water and wild goose breaking the wave. Even many fourth-grade alchemists might not be able to master this alchemy technique. They didn't expect Mo Qingyun to master it. Such a scene was really beyond everyone's expectations. Roar! At this time, while everyone was shocked, the soul fire in the cauldron turned into a beast and swallowed the alchemy materials. After swallowing the alchemy materials, the soul fire demonic beast began to jump at an extremely fast speed. With every jump, the alchemy materials in the soul fire demonic beast stomach were purified. This is the divine beast cauldron hand. Young Master Dan has mastered this alchemy technique. The carp leaping over the dragon gate, the divine beast cauldron hand. I didn't expect to be lucky enough to see such an alchemy technique in my lifetime. Genius, an alchemy genius. In just a few months, young Master Dan's alchemy ability has grown to such an extent. At this moment, some people who knew Mo Qingyun could not help but exclaim. They clearly remembered that a few months ago, Mo Qingyun had just entered the Alchemist Union and was accepted as a disciple by Du Luo and the other two. At that time, Mo Qingyun's alchemy level was only at the top of the first grade. However, in just a few months, Mo Qingyun's alchemy ability had grown to such an extent. This kind of speed of improvement was truly shocking and hard to believe. No, impossible. How could this kid know such a brilliant alchemy technique? Seeing Mo Qingyun's technique, Shui Zhao's face turned ugly, revealing a look of disbelief. At this moment, he felt a faint sense of unease in his heart. He seemed to have underestimated Mo Qingyun. After a brief moment of panic, Shui Zhao's face turned gloomy. He comforted himself. Humph. So what if your alchemy technique is brilliant? Alchemy isn't something that can be achieved with just a brilliant alchemy technique. After comforting himself, Shui Zhao put away his contempt and focused on refining the Dan. As for Shui Zhao's performance, Mo Qingyun did not pay any attention to it. He was also completely immersed in refining pills. While Shui Zhao was wholeheartedly immersed in refining the pill, he began to control the flame, refining the pill ingredients in the pill furnace. Under Shui Zhao's control, the flames within the pill cauldron were like a berserk fire dragon, rapidly swimming within the pill cauldron. As the fire dragon swam rapidly, the ingredients in the pill cauldron were quickly purified. Not long after, the ingredients in Shui Zhao's pill cauldron were completely purified, turning into a ball of dark green liquid. Seeing that the ingredients were completely purified, Shui Zhao sneered and began to compress the liquid into pills. Roar! While Shui Zhao was wholeheartedly purifying the ingredients, Mo Qingyun was also controlling the soul fire demonic beast to quickly purify the ingredients. At this moment, the soul fire demonic beast jumped faster and faster, and its body became more and more transparent. This meant that the purity of the ingredients was getting higher and higher. After seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, the faces of the people from the Mount Tai sect and the Heavenly Dragon faction turned ugly. At this moment, they realized that they seemed to have underestimated Mo Qingyun's alchemy ability. After realizing this, their confidence in defeating Shui Zhao seemed to have been shaken. We seem to have underestimated this kid. I didn't expect him to have some skills. Although he has some skills, he is too arrogant. He actually used the most common pill cauldron to refine pills. This kind of behavior is too arrogant. I really want to know if he is defeated because of the pill cauldron. I don't know if this kid will go crazy. When they thought of Mo Qingyun's defeat, The people from the Heavenly Dragon faction and the Mount Tai sect sneered. The following time, Mo Qingyun and Xue Xiao were refining pills, little by little. After half an hour, the flame in Xue Xiao's pill cauldron suddenly rose, turning into a flame lotus, wrapping the medicinal liquid in the middle. Then, everyone saw that the flame lotus slowly bloomed, forming a lotus seed in the middle. In the lotus seed, a green lotus seed was born. This was the pill that Xue Xiao was refining. This was the lotus blossoming hand. Seeing Xue Xiao's performance at this moment, everyone's expression changed, and their hearts were shocked. The lotus blossom release was a technique that only a fifth-grade alchemist could master. Unexpectedly, with Xue Xiao's identity as a fourth-grade alchemist, he was able to master it successfully. This Xue Xiao's alchemy level was indeed extraordinary. At this moment, after the lotus seed was born, a strong pill fragrance instantly spread in the pill refining field. Xue Xiao's pill was successfully refined. What a strong pill fragrance! The pill that Xue Xiao refined is at least a fourth-grade intermediate pill. It took less than an hour to successfully refine a fourth-grade pill, worthy of a fourth-grade alchemist. I wonder what kind of pill Xue Xiao refined, and what kind of effect will there be after consuming it. Seeing Xue Xiao's success, the surrounding people's expressions changed, and their faces showed curiosity. A fourth-grade advanced pill, Moxibus Yang, refining Yuan Dan. After consuming it, it can increase the strength of Yuan Dan. Xue Xiao took the pill in his hand, introduced it to the crowd, and handed it to the judges. Please check the pill's grade. Hearing Xue Xiao's words, the judges took the pill and handed it to the crowd to check. It is indeed a fourth-grade advanced pill. Just from the concentration of the pill's elemental energy, you can feel it. Looking at the quality of this pill, even among the fourth-grade advanced pills, it belongs to the highest grade. If you really want to judge, this pill's grade can already be considered a fifth-grade pill. After receiving the pills, the surrounding judges expressed their opinions one after another. In the end, the grade of Xue Xiao's pill was determined to be a fifth-grade pill. Quasi-grade 5 medicinal pill. The medicinal pill that Xue Xiao refined actually reached quasi-grade 5. After hearing this result, everyone's expression changed, and they started to worry for Mo Qingyun. Xue Xiao had refined a fifth-grade pill. Could Mo Qingyun still win? A fifth-grade pill, this is troublesome. I didn't expect Xue Xiao's alchemy skills to be so high. Du Luo frowned and let out a bad feeling. His heart started to worry. After hearing Du Luo's words, the others at the side also felt the same. A fifth-grade pill was too shocking. Compared to the worries of Du Luo and the others, the people of Mount Tai sect and Sky Dragon Triad revealed proud smiles. Xiao is not bad. He actually refined a fifth-grade pill. Looks like that kid will lose. With Xiao Er's talent, it won't take long for him to become a fifth-grade alchemist, the top alchemist in the Xia country. Congratulations, Mr. Xue. Your Xue family has produced such an outstanding junior like Xue Xiao. Mr. Yuansheng is too polite. Xue Xiao has such a promising future, thanks to the Du family's nurturing. The people of Mount Tai sect and Sky Dragon Triad, one after another, let out proud words. In the center of the alchemy square, Xue Xiao revealed a complacent sneer when he saw the results of his pill grade evaluation. He looked at Mo Qingyun and said, "Kid, did you hear that? The pill I refined is a quasi-grade 5 pill. You haven't seen a pill of this grade, have you? For you to be able to see a pill of this grade before you die, you can die without regrets." As soon as Xue Xiao finished speaking, he raised his hand and blasted it towards Mo Qingyun. He sneered and said, "Kid, give up. It's impossible for the grade of the medicinal pill you refined to surpass mine. Let me send you off." Scram! Seeing Xue Xiao's excitement, Mo Qingyun's face darkened, and he snorted and attacked back. Fire Dragon Seal. At this moment, Mo Qingyun's face darkened, and he used one of his hands to attack. Under Mo Qingyun's palm, 49 fire dragon seals quickly formed into a fire dragon shield, and it went to meet Xue Xiao's attack. At this moment, Mo Qingyun did not hold back, and he directly used the fire profound. Bang! Facing the fire dragon shield attack, Shui Zhao's face changed, and his palm landed on the fire dragon shield, making a muffled sound. At the same time, Shui Zhao's attack was blocked by the fire dragon shield. Not only that, Shui Zhao was caught off guard, and the fire dragon shield made him look extremely miserable. Seeing that his attack was blocked by Mo Qingyun, Shui Zhao's face darkened, and he questioned Mo Qingyun. "Kid, are you going back on your word? What's the hurry? I haven't finished refining my pill yet." Chapter 154. When he saw Shui Zhao make a move against Mo Qingyun, Qi Lian's figure directly flashed and arrived by Mo Qingyun's side to protect Mo Qingyun. After Qi Lian arrived by Mo Qingyun's side, he released a strand of aura that crushed down toward Shui Zhao. Stomp! 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 Under Qi Lian's aura, Shui Zhao's figure repeatedly retreated explosively, and he was pressed to the point he knelt on the ground while his face flushed red. Shower. As soon as they saw Shui Zhao being crushed by Qi Lian's aura, the expressions of everyone from the Mount Tai sect and Sky Dragon Gang changed, and they immediately arrived by Shui Zhao's side. After Tai Zhenhai and the others arrived by Shui Zhao's side, their faces sank, and they looked at Qi Lian and said coldly, "Sir, you're being presumptuous." Presumptuous? When he heard Tai Zhenhai's words, a strand of bloody light flashed in Qi Lian's eyes, and he said coldly, "The competition hasn't ended, and this kid interfered with the young lord. Could it be that it isn't presumptuous?" While Qi Lian was speaking, Wan Lianyun and the others arrived successively before Mo Qingyun's figure and said, "Qingyun's refinement hasn't ended, yet Shui Zhao interfered like this. Could it be that all of you are worried that you'll lose? The competition hasn't ended, and you interfered with your opponent midway. Such actions are truly too shameful. Yeah, even though the Pill Young Master's chances of winning aren't high, but you can't interfere while he's refining the pill. Could it be that Shui Zhao intentionally interfered with the Pill Young Master's refinement because of his guilty conscience and fear? That's also possible. After all, based solely on the method of refining pills, the Pill Young Master seems to be superior." For a time, the surrounding people expressed their own thoughts. "Oomph." When he heard Qi Lian and the others, Tai Zhenhai grunted coldly and said, "Chower, refined a quasi-grade 5 medicinal pill. Could it be that this isn't enough? Could it be that all of you think that kid can refine a grade 5 medicinal pill?" Du Luo and the others went silent when they heard Tai Zhenhai, and they didn't know how to respond. To be honest, they did not have the slightest bit of hope that Mo Qingyun would be able to refine a grade 5 pill. It was too difficult to successfully refine a 5th grade medicinal pill. Whether or not I can refine a 5th grade medicinal pill, won't we know after I finish refining? At this time, while Du Luo and the others were speechless, Mo Qingyun smiled playfully and looked at Tai Zhenhai and the others. Tai Zhenhai's face sank once more when he heard Mo Qingyun, and he said coldly, "Kid, if you continue refining like this, then could it be that we have to wait forever? Since you're in such a hurry to kill Shui Zhao, I'll fulfill your wish." The corners of Mo Qingyun's mouth curled up. He looked at the Shui Zhao playfully and said with a faint smile, "Although I'm still a little lacking, it's enough to beat you." Shameless boasting. Shui Zhao's expression changed when he heard Mo Qingyun's words, and he replied coldly. However, if one listened carefully, they would be able to tell that Shui Zhao's confidence was lacking when he said these words. At this moment, the uneasiness in Shui Zhao's heart intensified. At this moment, condense. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, Mo Qingyun controlled the soul fire to compress the medicinal liquid and condense it into a pill. Roar, roar. Under Mo Qingyun's control, the soul fire turned into 2 small, flaming dragons. They circled around the medicinal liquid and played with it. 2 dragons playing with a pearl. Everyone's expression changed when they saw Mo Qingyun's technique. They could not believe their eyes. The two dragons playing with a pearl was a profound alchemy technique that had always been a legend in the Xia Kingdom. It was said that only a few alchemy families in the Great Yin dynasty knew this alchemy technique. They did not expect Mo Qingyun to know this alchemy technique. This was too shocking and unexpected. At this moment, Mo Qingyun's image in everyone's heart became mysterious. Could it be that young Master Elixir had some sort of connection with the existence of such a power? Swoosh! After a while, the two soul fire dragons circled around the medicinal liquid for a while and directly entered the medicinal liquid. Soon after, a pill fragrance instantly filled the pill refining square. Mo Qingyun's medicinal liquid was successfully refined. Moreover, the pill fragrance was much stronger and purer than Shui Zhao's. Under the crowd's astonishment, a red and blue medicinal liquid fell into Mo Qingyun's hands. Yin-Yang Realm-Breaking Pill. After taking it, it can increase the chances of breaking through to the Elixir Palace realm by 30%. Mo Qingyun held the red and blue medicinal liquid in his hands and introduced it to everyone. He then passed it to the judge at the side and said, "Please check the grade of the medicinal liquid." Al. Okay. Hearing Mo Qingyun's introduction of the medicinal liquid, the judge's heart trembled and he nervously took the medicinal liquid. Looking at the judge's cautious manner, it was as if he was not taking a medicinal liquid, but a piece of soft tofu. He was afraid that he would accidentally break it. What a strong medicinal elemental energy. Just by absorbing a little of it, I can feel that my elemental energy has increased by a little. I can't confirm the grade of this medicinal liquid, but I can be sure that it is definitely above grade 6. This medicinal liquid contains the power of ice and fire, and there is a trace of the power of water and fire. It should be the Yin-Yang Realm-Breaking Pill. If that's really the case, then this pill is at least a middle grade 6 pill. After the judges took the medicinal liquid in their hands and sized it up, they expressed their opinions. In the end, the grade of Mo Qingyun's Yin-Yang Realm-Breaking Pill was determined to be a middle grade 6. But even so, Mo Qingyun still beat Shui Zhao. Middle grade 6. Once the grade of the medicinal liquid was announced, everyone was stunned. They stared at Mo Qingyun with their eyes wide open. Mo Qingyun actually refined a middle grade 6 medicinal liquid. Didn't this mean that Mo Qingyun was already a middle grade 6 alchemist? A 6th grade alchemist. Even among all the alchemists in the Xia country, he was the top existence. Everyone really did not expect that in such a short time, Mo Qingyun's alchemy level had reached such a level. 6. Middle grade 6. This kid's alchemy level has reached such a level. When Du Luo and the others found out the grade of Mo Qingyun's medicinal liquid, they were all stunned on the spot. They stared with their eyes wide open, unable to believe the result. Even in their wildest dreams, they did not expect Mo Qingyun's alchemy level to have reached such a level. Good. At this moment, Mo Hantian almost burst into tears. His face was filled with relief. Other than praise, he did not know how to express his feelings. This kid always surprises people. Mo Feipeng, who was standing at the side, laughed heartily and said, "However, this news is really King awesome. A 6th grade alchemist is too domineering." Huh. Hiss. Wan Linyun also sucked in a breath of cold air. He looked at Mo Qingyun in shock and thought, just how many secrets is this young master Mo hiding? At this moment, Mo Qingyun gave him the feeling that he could not see through him. Chapter 155. Impossible. Shui Zhao's face immediately turned crazy when he found out that Mo Qingyun had concocted an elixir. He couldn't accept the result and said crazily, "You can't concoct a 6th grade elixir. You can't beat me. You must have bribed them to help you cheat." Shui Zhao pointed at the judges and said coldly, "Yes, that must be it. You must have bribed them and colluded with them to cheat." Cheat. Hearing Shui Zhao's words, Mo Qingyun looked at him with disdain and said disdainfully, You think too highly of yourself. There's no need to go through so much trouble to defeat you. After he spoke with disdain, Emo Qingyun didn't waste his breath on Xue Xiao and directly instructed Qi Lian. Qi Lian, send him on his way. Yes, young lord. Qi Lian smiled coldly when he heard Emo Qingyun's order. He looked at Xue Xiao and said, Brat, it's useless to say more. Let this old man send you on your way. Qi Lian raised his hand and sent a palm strike at Xue Xiao. Just as Qi Lian was about to attack, a figure appeared in front of Xue Xiao and blocked Qi Lian's palm strike. The figure said coldly, You're too presumptuous. You can't touch a member of the Xue family. When Xue Xiao saw the person before him, it was as though he had grabbed onto a life-saving straw. He immediately said with a panicked expression, Patriarch, Patriarch, save me. Ancestor. Everyone was shocked when they heard Xue Xiao's words. They were shocked by the identity of the person in front of them. That's right, the person who blocked Xue Xiao's attack was Xue Haoyan. After Xue Haoyan blocked Qi Lian's attack, disappointment appeared in his eyes as he glanced at Xue Xiao. Xue Xiao's performance was disappointing. It showed that his mental state wasn't strong enough. Although he was disappointed with Xue Xiao's performance, Xue Xiao was still the most talented junior in the Xue family. His future in alchemy was limitless. Because of that, Xue Haoyan would not watch as Xue Xiao was easily killed by someone else. Xue Haoyan, it's you. Wan Lianyun was shocked when everyone was shocked by Xue Haoyan's identity. He said coldly, You're not dead. Dead? Xue Haoyan sneered and replied, Wan Lianyun, you're not dead. How can I be dead? It's you, you old ghost. Du Luo was similarly surprised when he saw Xue Haoyan. He said in a low voice, Xue Haoyan, the bet between Xue Xiao and Qingyun is obvious to all. Could it be that you intend to go against the agreement in front of everyone? Break the bet. Xue Haoyan smiled coldly when he heard Du Luo's words. Du Luo, you're getting worse. Bets have always been used to restrict the weak. Now that we have the absolute advantage, what can you do to us even if we break the bet? After hearing Xue Haoyan's words, Du Luo immediately stood up and glared at Xue Haoyan, unable to say a word. Xue Haoyan sneered when he saw Du Luo's anger. He looked at Wan Lianyun and said, Wan Lianyun, it's time to settle some old scores. From now on, Lianyun City has a new master. After Xue Haoyan finished speaking, he turned to Du Luo and the others and said, Originally, we planned to wait for Xiao Heir to become the president of the Alchemist Alliance Guild and take full control of the Alliance Guild before making a move on you. However, we didn't expect that you would kill this kid halfway and ruin our plan. However, this isn't important now. Even if Xiao Heir doesn't take control of the Alliance Guild, it's more than enough to get rid of you. Du Luo and the others froze when they heard Xue Haoyan's words. Fear rose in their hearts. They knew very well that if Xue Xiao really took control of the Alchemist Alliance, then the consequences would be unimaginable. Think about it. Out of the 4 major forces in Lianyun City, 3 of them were under their control. If that was the case, it would be hard for Lianyun City to remain unchanged. While Du Luo and the others were still in shock, Xue Haoyan released his Half-Step Pill Palace Realm aura. Half-Step Pill Palace Realm. When Xue Haoyan's aura was released, everyone's expression changed and shock rose in their hearts. Xue Haoyan's cultivation had actually reached the Half-Step Pill Palace Realm. A Half-Step Pill Palace Realm expert could be considered a king in Lianyun City. Thinking of this, some of the surrounding people involuntarily revealed sympathetic expressions as they looked at Mo Qingyun's group. Offending such an existence was a terrible thing for Mo Qingyun and the others. However, before everyone could regain their senses, Yuan Sheng, who was beside Xue Haoyan, also released his aura, displaying the aura of a Half-Step Pill Palace Realm expert. Another Half-Step Pill Palace Realm expert. After discovering this, the surrounding people sucked in a breath of cold air and the reverence on their faces deepened. There were actually 2 Half-Step Pill Palace Realm experts hiding in the Mount Tai sect and the Heavenly Dragon Triad. This scene was too terrifying. Looks like Lianyun City is going to change. I didn't expect the Mount Tai sect and the Heavenly Dragon triad to be so secretive. Sigh. It's a pity for that young Master Dan. With his talent, if he didn't die today, his future would be extraordinary. Yeah, he's already a grade 6 alchemist at such a young age. If nothing goes wrong, he'll be a pill king in the future. Heaven is jealous of geniuses. Since ancient times, how many geniuses have fallen like this? At this moment, everyone looked at Mo Qingyun with pity. 2 half-step pill palace realm experts. Feeling the aura from Shui Haoyin and Yuan Sheng, even Wan Linian's expression turned solemn. The participation of a pill palace realm expert was enough to instantly change the situation and put Mo Qingyun and the others in a desperate situation. The strength of both sides were about the same and reached a delicate balance. But now the other side suddenly had a half-step pill palace realm expert. This balance was broken. Seeing this scene, Shui Xiao immediately revealed a complacent smile and sneered at Mo Qingyun. Brat, so what if your alchemy level is higher than mine? Today, you're still going to die here. Huh? Is that so? Looking at the complacent Shui Xiao, Mo Qingyun's lips curled into a playful smile and said, Shui Xiao, it's too early for you to be happy. They're just 2 half-step pill palace realm experts. Today, even if a true pill palace realm expert comes, you'll still die. Today, no one can protect you. Brat, you're talking big. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Yuan Sheng's face sank, and he said coldly to Mo Qingyun, Since you're so arrogant, this old man will kill you first. Hearing Yuan Sheng's words, Mo Qingyun narrowed his eyes and looked at him coldly. Old dog, the hunter will shoot the bird that sticks out. Since you want to be the bird that sticks out, I'll kill you first. Qilian, deal with this old dog. Chapter 156. Under Mo Qingyun's command, the elders of the Mount Tai sect and the Heavenly Dragon triad who were refined into blood slaves immediately attacked the people around them. Faced with the sudden attack of these blood thralls, the remaining elders were instantly caught off guard. Bang, bang, bang. In just a short moment, nearly half of the remaining elders were crippled by the blood thralls. What was going on? Seeing this scene, everyone was dumbfounded. Their hearts were filled with doubt and confusion. Why did the elders of the Mount Tai sect and the Heavenly Dragon triad attack their own people? Seeing the blood slaves betraying them, Shui Haoyin and the rest were furious, their faces twitching as they questioned, What are you doing? Are you crazy? They also did not understand why these elders would suddenly attack their own people as if they had gone mad. However, the blood slaves did not pay any attention to their questioning and quickly rushed towards Mo Qingyun. Subordinate greets the young lord. The blood slaves came to Mo Qingyun and directly knelt down, saluting Mo Qingyun. Young lord, the elders of the Heavenly Dragon triad and the Mount Tai sect called Mo Qingyun master. Seeing this scene, everyone was shocked again. They couldn't believe what they were seeing with their own eyes. Mo Qingyun had actually subdued the elders of the Mount Tai sect and the Heavenly Dragon triad without a word. Too crazy. This was really too crazy. If they did not see this with their own eyes, they would not dare to believe it, even if they were beaten to death. What kind of method was this? At this moment, everyone did not know what to say. Was this something that a true energy realm cultivator should have? Young Master Dan has actually subdued more than half of the elders of the Heavenly Dragon triad and the Mount Tai sect. What a powerful method. It seems that we have all underestimated young Master Dan. This is not something that an ordinary person can do. Now it seems that the situation has become unpredictable. It will be difficult for the Mount Tai sect and the Heavenly Dragon triad to eliminate young Master Dan and the others. At this moment, the surrounding people could not help but sigh after seeing this. Good boy. Seeing this scene, Mo Tian and the rest immediately laughed heartily. They were extremely excited, and their expressions were much more relaxed. Mo Qingyun's performance at this moment was really beyond everyone's expectations. Because of Mo Qingyun's move, the situation where they were bound to lose had immediately saved their chances of victory. At least they had the ability to resist. Just how many things has this brat been hiding from us? He actually managed to gather such a large group of thugs without a word. Mo Faping was excited. He clenched his fists and said joyfully, "This ability seems to surpass even Feiyu back then. Now it seems that I have underestimated Mr. Mo." Seeing that more than half of the elders of the Mount Tai sect and the Heavenly Dragon Triad had been subdued by Mo Qingyun, Wan Lianyun smiled bitterly and shook his head. "So the few people I saw at the Shui family last time were only the tip of the iceberg. This Mr. Mo is becoming more and more difficult to see through." Of course, at the same time as he was shocked, Wan Lianyun was more delighted. In his opinion, with the help of these blood slaves, they would have the ability to resist. Huh! Seeing Mo Qingyun's move, Duruo and the other two immediately laughed. Good boy. Well done. Shui Haoyan, you want to use Shui Shao to control the Alchemist Alliance Guild." Zhao Qi's face was carefree as he laughed. "But you probably didn't expect that your Heavenly Dragon Triad and Mount Tai sect would be controlled by my disciple." At this moment, when they saw Mo Qingyun giving Shui Haoyan and the others a taste of their own medicine, Du Luo and the others felt extremely pleased in their hearts. Compared to Duo and the other two who were secretly pleased, Shui Haoyan and the others were furious, their faces ashen. "It's you again, you stinking brat." Shui Haoyan's face twitched as he looked at Mo Qingyun with a ferocious expression. He really couldn't stand a true energy boundary brat ruining his plans again and again. "Stinking brat, you've ruined my plans again and again. I'm going to kill you." Shui Haoyan's face darkened as he moved his body and raised his hand to attack Mo Qingyun. "Shui Haoyan, your opponent is me." Wan Lianyun sneered when he saw Shui Haoyan making his move. He faced Shui Haoyan and said, "You're right. It's time to settle some old scores." As soon as Wan Lianyun finished his words, he started a fight with Shui Haoyan. In an instant, Yuan energy and profoundness spread out. Under the aftermath of their battle, some of the buildings in the Alchemist Union were instantly destroyed and turned into dust. As for the spectators, they immediately retreated when they saw the situation. The battle between the four major forces in Lianyun City wasn't something that small forces like them could participate in. In order to avoid being implicated, it was better for them to run away. After Wan Lianyun and Shui Haoyan started their battle, the others also entered the battle and found opponents with similar strength to fight. Du Luo's group of three instead fought with Tai Junhai, Long Junjiang, and the others. For a time, both sides had fallen into a delicate balance, and they fought equally. But everyone knew that the reason why they were able to maintain this balance was because the half-step pill palace expert, Yuan Sheng, had yet to make his move. If Yuan Sheng made his move, this balance would be broken very quickly. "Wan Lianyun, you'll definitely lose this battle." Shui Haoyan glanced at the battle situation around him and smiled sinisterly. He said to Wan Lianyun proudly before turning to Yuan Sheng, "I'll have to trouble Mr. Yuan Sheng to kill that brat from the Mo clan. Don't worry, Mr. Shui. This brat won't be able to escape." Yuan Sheng smiled coldly and looked at Mo Qingyun. He said coldly, "Brat, no one can save you now. Prepare to die." Baleful Wind Qi. As soon as Yuan Sheng made his move, a shocking amount of Yuan energy exploded from his palm. It formed a baleful wind Qi and swept towards Mo Qingyun. Under the baleful wind Qi, the air became illusory as if it was being corroded by the baleful wind. Blood mist dispersion. Seeing that Yuan Sheng had made his move, Qi Lian didn't hesitate. He moved his body and charged towards Yuan Sheng. Under Qi Lian's action, a blood mist appeared around his body and resisted the baleful wind that Yuan Sheng had sent out. However, to everyone's surprise, after the baleful wind Qi met with Qi Lian's blood mist, it seemed to be in a weakened state. Seeing this, Yuan Sheng's expression changed. He said in shock, "The power of blood. You can actually activate the power of blood." When Yuan Sheng said this, his tone was filled with envy. The power of blood was the prerequisite for breaking through to the Pill Palace. The reason why his cultivation was still at the half-step Pill Palace realm was because he couldn't activate the power of blood. The power of blood. After hearing Yuan Sheng's words, Wan Lianyun and Shui Haoyan's expressions changed as well. They didn't expect that the red-haired elder beside Mo Qingyun, who was only at the 9th level of Yuan Dan realm, would be able to activate the power of blood. Other than being surprised, those who were familiar with Qi Lian were also filled with doubt, confusion, and shock. They clearly remembered that when they first met Qi Lian, his cultivation was only at the 1st level of Yuan Dan realm. However, in just a few months' time, Qi Lian's cultivation had reached the 9th level of Yuan Dan realm, and he had comprehended the power of blood. If Qi Lian hadn't intentionally concealed his cultivation level, his cultivation speed would have been a little too terrifying. In just a few months' time, his cultivation had soared from the 1st level of Yuan Dan realm to the 9th level of Yuan Dan realm. What kind of cultivation speed was this? No one could achieve this anymore. Who exactly was this red-haired elder? How did his cultivation increase so quickly? At this moment, countless doubts and puzzlement appeared in the minds of Wan Lianyun and the others. After thinking about it, they suddenly realized that Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian had many similarities. Not only was their cultivation speed extremely fast, but their comprehension of the realms was also extremely strong. After this discovery, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian became even more mysterious in everyone's hearts. Bird of Prey break. At this moment, while everyone was still in shock over Qi Lian's techniques, Mo Qingyun moved his body and quickly retreated from the battle. Under the circumstances where he didn't use the power of the Pill Palace, the battle between Qi Lian and Qi Lian wasn't something he could get close to. After retreating from Qi Lian's battle, Mo Qingyun scanned the entire battlefield. Seeing that his side had the upper hand, his expression relaxed a little. Shui Xiao. At this moment, as Mo Qingyun scanned the entire battlefield, a familiar figure entered his eyes. Bird of Prey break. After seeing this, Mo Qingyun revealed a playful smile and approached Shui Xiao. Mo Qingyun. Seeing Mo Qingyun approaching rapidly, Shui Xiao's face twitched and revealed a trace of panic. Chapter 157. Sun Incinerating Mountains Splitting Blade. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he took out his red silk saber and slashed down at Shui Xiao. As the saber slashed down, a scarlet glow appeared on the red silk saber, forming a 20-meter-long true Yuan saber light. Brat, how dare you? Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, a Mount Tai sect 1st level Yuan Dan realm elder's face darkened as he shouted at Mo Qingyun. As soon as he finished speaking, he attacked crazily, forcing his opponent to retreat and attacking Mo Qingyun. Thousand Mountain Tyrant kick. The 1st level Yuan Dan realm elder leaped up and kicked at Mo Qingyun. As soon as he kicked out, his leg exploded with a shocking amount of origin energy, forming a huge shadow of a leg. It descended from the sky and pressed down on Mo Qingyun like Mount Tai. Since you want to die, I'll kill you first. Seeing the Mount Tai sect elder's actions, Mo Qingyun's face darkened. He changed the direction of his red silk saber and slashed at the elder. Door of the Seal, release. Under Mo Qingyun's attack, he released the seal on the Pill Palace and used its power to increase his cultivation. Then, Mo Qingyun's aura increased rapidly. In the blink of an eye, it reached level 2 Yuan Dan realm. Now that his golden jade true body was completed, he could use the power of the Pill Palace to become even stronger than before. Level 2 Yuan Dan realm aura. Feeling Mo Qingyun's aura, Shui Zhao's expression changed and his face turned pale. Not only that, but the expression of the Taishan sect's elder that had attacked Mo Qingyun also changed greatly upon seeing this. He seemed to have been careless this time. Slash. As the Yuan Dan realm elder's expression changed, the red silk saber released a terrifying saber light and slashed at the origin energy leg shadow. Pucci. Under the attack of the flaming saber light, the origin energy leg shadow was instantly incinerated and dissipated in midair. However, after the red silk saber destroyed the origin energy leg shadow, its attack did not decrease at all. It continued to slash at the elder and landed on his body. No, after being slashed by the red silk saber, the Mount Tai sect elder was terrified and uttered a word of despair. Puff! The saber descended, blood splattered. This first-level origin core stage elder of the Mount Tai sect was dead. No, impossible. Seeing this scene, Shui Zhao's expression immediately became horrified. He said in a panic, This must be an illusion. You can't possibly kill Elder Shui Wan." He was truly unable to believe that an elder with a cultivation at the origin core realm would actually be domineeringly killed in a single exchange with Mo Qingyan. Shui Shui elder. Shui Shui Shui. Shui silk saber. Shui Shui. With Shui Shui. Shui. Pucci. With Mo Qingyun's current cultivation at the second level of the Yuan dance stage, Shui Xiao didn't even have time to react before he was struck. "No, don't kill me." Shui Zhao's eyes widened the sight of the rapidly approaching red silk saber. Fear and despair filled his face as he said, "He doesn't want to die. I'm a genius of the Shui family, a genius alchemist Qi." However, before Shui Xiao could finish his words, he would never be able to speak again. He was burned to ashes by the flames. Xiao. As soon as Shui Xiao died, Shui Haoyin and the others at the side immediately screamed as if they had gone mad. Shui Xiao was the most talented member of the Shui family's younger generation. He was the future successor of the Shui family and the hope of the Shui family's rise. Now that Mo Qingyun had killed him, it was equivalent to destroying the Shui clan's hope. How could Shui Haoyin and the others not go crazy? "Brat, I'm going to kill you." At this moment, the elders of the Mount Tai sect and the Heavenly Dragon sect all rushed towards Mo Qingyun with bloodshot eyes. Seeing everyone's actions, Mo Qingyun's face turned solemn. He no longer held back and removed the seal of the Pill Palace. Door of the seal removed. As the seal of the Pill Palace was removed by Mo Qingyun, a shocking power was mobilized by Mo Qingyun. Immediately, the aura on Mo Qingyun's body rose crazily once again. After a while, Mo Qingyun's pores started to bleed. Only then did he stop borrowing the power. This meant that the power of the Pill Palace that Mo Qingyun's body could withstand had reached its limit. 9th level of the Yuan Dan realm. At this moment, the aura on Mo Qingyun's body had reached the 9th level of the Yuan Dan realm. Feeling the aura on Mo Qingyun's body, everyone was shocked and their hearts trembled. They never thought that Mo Qingyun's body would have such a strong power sealed within it. This young Master Dan's cultivation has reached the 9th level of the Yuan Dan realm. How is this possible? With his age, how can he have such a strong cultivation? That's not his own cultivation. It's an external power sealed within his body. Even so, this is too terrifying. The external power of a 9th level of the Yuan Dan realm is too crazy. Yeah, he's only at the true energy realm, yet he borrowed the power of the 9th level of the Yuan Dan realm. Is he still a normal person? What shocked me even more was how his physical body was able to withstand this power. At this moment, the surrounding people were terrified. They looked at Mo Qingyun with reverence. At this moment, Mo Qingyun's methods were beyond their understanding. What a terrifying power. How can there be such a strong power in this kid's body? Feeling the aura on Mo Qingyun's body, the people from the Mount Tai sect and the Sky Dragon sect all had extremely ugly expressions. They stopped attacking Mo Qingyun and looked at Mo Qingyun with reverence. Judging from the current situation, only Yuan Sheng and Shui Haoyin could suppress Mo Qingyun. As expected, I missed something. Feeling the aura on Mo Qingyun's body, one Lian Yun smiled bitterly. Mo Qingyun's performance had once again exceeded his expectations. 9th level of the Yuan Dan realm. How did this kid Qingyun do it? Compared to the other people's shock, The Mo clan members were undoubtedly the most shocked. This was because they knew everything about Mo Qingyun. However, it was also because of this that they were even more shocked when they saw Mo Qingyun's 9th level Yuan Dan realm cultivation. God bless our Mo clan. Mo Hong Tian and Mo Kueishin cried. They were so excited that they could not calm down for a long time. This kid seems to have far surpassed us. Mo Faping and Mo Yuru were gratified and happy. They exclaimed, "The little monkey is finally grown up." While the crowd was still in shock, Mo Qingyun looked arrogantly at the people from the Mount Tai sect and the Sky Dragon sect and said, "You are not qualified to kill me." As soon as he finished speaking, Mo Qingyun no longer held back. He released all 3 types of ultimacy and attacked the people from the Mount Tai sect and the Sky Dragon sect. Burning Sun Mountain Splitting Saber, Mo Qingyun held the red silk saber and slashed at a 3rd level Yuan Dan realm elder from the Mount Tai sect. Pucci, due to the huge gap between their cultivation levels, the 3rd level Yuan Dan realm elder was killed by Mo Qingyun in an instant. "You're next." After killing this elder, Mo Qingyun's movements didn't slow down, and he once again charged towards another 4th level Origin Core Stage elder. The outcome was still the same. When faced with Mo Qingyun's attack, this 4th level Origin Core Stage elder similarly didn't have the strength to resist, and he followed in the footsteps of the former and was killed by Mo Qingyun. Seeing Mo Qingyun killing the elders from his side, Xue Haoyin's face turned ferocious. He pounced on Mo Qingyun and said, "Kid, I'm going to tear you into pieces and skin you alive." "Xue Haoyin, your opponent is me." Seeing Xue Haoyin's crazy appearance, Wan Lianyun sneered and blocked Xue Haoyin's path again. "Wan Lianyun, you gone too far." Seeing that he was blocked by Wan Lianyun again, Xue Haoyin gritted his teeth and trembled with anger. "Mr. Xue, you can deal with that person. Leave the kid to me." Seeing that Xue Haoyin's actions were blocked by Wan Lianyun, Yuan Sheng's expression darkened. He said to Xue Haoyin and forced Qi Lian back with a palm strike. Then, he mocked Mo Qingyun and said, "Brat, you're too complacent. Let me send you to hell." As soon as Yuan Sheng finished speaking, his aura surged. It was much stronger than when he fought with Qi Lian. This Yuan Sheng was hiding his strength. After this discovery, everyone's expression changed, and their faces became somewhat tense. If that was the case, with Yuan Sheng's cultivation level, it would be dangerous for Mo Qingyun to deal with Mo Qingyun. Qi Lian sensed the change in Yuan Sheng's aura, and his expression changed. He warned Mo Qingyun, "Young lord, be careful. His cultivation level has reached the Quasi-Pill Palace." Chapter 158. Red Flame Dragon, Appear. After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he summoned his martial soul. Then, a terrifying dragon aura was emitted from his body. At the same time, a red dragon shadow that was more than 20 meters long appeared above Mo Qingyun. Sky Dragon Martial Soul. Seeing the red dragon shadow above him, everyone's expression changed and they were shocked. Mo Qingyun actually had a superb martial soul, the Sky Dragon Martial Soul. This is the Sky Dragon Martial Soul. Young Master Dan has a superb martial soul. Young Master Dan's talent is too monstrous. I didn't expect his cultivation talent to be more terrifying than his alchemy talent. The Mo clan is so lucky to have such a junior. How many lifetimes of good luck did they have? In an instant, all kinds of shocked and envious words came out from the surrounding people. A superb martial soul. This kid actually has a superb martial soul. After seeing Mo Qingyun's martial soul, the Sky Dragon Triad and Mount Tai sects faces turned ugly, and there was a trace of jealousy in their eyes. Such a terrifyingly talented junior had actually appeared in the Mo clan, a small and unknown clan. If such a junior appeared in the Mount Tai sect or the Sky Dragon Triad, Lianyun City would have changed hands long ago. So what if you have a superb martial soul? You will still die in front of me. Yuan Sheng's face darkened, and he said coldly. After that, he raised his hand and attacked Mo Qingyun. Sun-covering demonic palm. Yuan Sheng attacked with his palm. The ink-like, violent origin energy turned into a huge black palm and crushed down on Mo Qingyun. Under the cover of the huge black palm, the sky seemed to darken as if it was covered by the huge palm. Qingyun, young lord, be careful. Mr. Mo, young Master Dan. Seeing Yuan Sheng's terrifying attack, Mo Hongtian's expression changed, and he exclaimed, "Haha, kid, you're dead." Unlike Mo Hongtian and the rest, Shui Haoyin and the rest laughed proudly when they saw this. Soul change. However, at this time, the surface of Mo Qingyun's body underwent a huge change. Pieces of crimson dragon scales condensed. With the appearance of these dragon scales, Mo Qingyun's aura also became stronger, and the dragons might also become stronger. Blood Chi Berserk. The sealed door had been unlocked. Facing the attack of a half-step pill palace expert, Yuan Sheng, Mo Qingyun didn't dare to be careless. He immediately used all of his trump cards. After using all his trump cards, Mo Qingyun's cultivation instantly reached the perfection stage of Yuan Dan realm. He was only a step away from becoming a half-step pill palace. Sun-incinerating mountains severing saber in the process of increasing his cultivation, Mo Qingyun wielded the red silk saber and slashed at the huge black palm. Roar! Under Mo Qingyun's attack, the red silk saber immediately glowed brightly. The flaming saber light was like a fire dragon. It let out a low roar and charged towards the huge black palm. Bang, bang, bang. Then, the true essence fire dragon and the black giant palm collided with each other and crazily collided with each other. A series of loud noises were heard as the sky darkened. Under the collision of the red silk saber light and the huge black palm, the elemental energy fluctuation was like a blooming epiphyllum, sweeping out in all directions. Under the influence of the elemental energy fluctuation, Mo Qingyun and the rest quickly retreated to avoid being affected by the aftermath of the battle. After a while, the huge black palm cracked and the fire dragon dissipated. Peace returned to the world. However, at this moment, everyone was dumbfounded. They couldn't believe what they had just seen. He caught it. The full-force attack of a half-step pill palace expert, Yuan Sheng, was actually caught by Mo Qingyun. Not only that, everyone also realized that Mo Qingyun's body was covered with a layer of crimson scales. Soul change. This was a legendary technique that only Yuan Dan experts who possess superb martial spirits could do. Who would have thought that Mo Qingyun actually did it? Young Master Dan actually caught the full-force attack of a half-step pill palace expert. What terrifying combat strength. Also, he can actually perform a soul change. This is really surprising. It seems like we have all underestimated him. The current him already has the qualifications to fight with a half-step pill palace. When the surrounding people saw this, they couldn't help but sigh. Is this the soul change? The unique technique of a superb martial spirit? Looking at Mo Qingyun's body covered with scales, Wan Lianyun revealed a trace of envy. This was a true talent, an innate talent that couldn't be changed through hard work. Soul change. It's actually the soul change. Looking at Mo Qingyun's current appearance, Qi Lian revealed a face of shock. He exclaimed, Master actually managed to successfully perform a soul change after reaching the Yuan Dan realm with the help of external forces. Even I can't do this. It seems like Master's true identity isn't simple. Could it be that Master is a reincarnated sovereign? Compared to other people, with Qi Lian's experience, he knew better than anyone else how difficult it was for Mo Qingyun to perform a soul change. Even with Qi Lian's strength at the peak of the transcendent realm in his previous life, he couldn't do it. Only a sovereign realm expert could do it. When he thought of this, Qi Lian's heart jumped. He looked at Mo Qingyun with reverence. You actually have a superb martial spirit. Seeing that Mo Qingyun had successfully blocked his attack, Yuan Sheng's face immediately changed. At this moment, he unconsciously looked at Mo Qingyun and regarded Mo Qingyun as an opponent of the same level. Looking at Yuan Sheng's shocked expression, Mo Qingyun smiled disdainfully and said to Qi Lian, "Qi Lian, don't hold back. Let's join hands and kill this old dog." "Yes, master." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qi Lian no longer held back and performed a soul change. Roar. Then, Qi Lian let out a loud roar. His body inflated rapidly, and he transformed into a seven-headed demonic dragon. The seven-fiend blood demonic dragon. Qi Lian's current form had completely transformed into a seven-fiend blood demonic dragon. His soul change was more thorough than Mo Qingyun's. It was a perfect soul change. A perfect soul change. The red-haired old man, beside young Master Dan, also has a superb martial spirit. The old man's martial spirit seems to be a top-grade 12 martial spirit, the seven-fiend blood demonic dragon. A top-grade 12 martial spirit. The old man, beside young Master Dan, also has such a powerful martial spirit. How many trump cards does young Master Dan have? Not only does he have many trump cards, but so do the people around him. It seems like the Mount Tai sect and the Sky Dragon faction are going to fail this time. Seeing Qi Lian perform a soul change, the surrounding people were shocked, and their faces changed. Good. When Wan Lianyun, Du Luo, and the others saw the situation, they were delighted and they cheered. It seemed like the scales of victory were tilted towards them. If they continued, they might be able to defeat Xue Haoyan and the others. Kill. Seeing that Qi Lian had completed the soul change, Mo Qingyun shouted coldly. His body moved, and he attacked Yuan Sheng. Sun incinerating mountain breaking blade. When Mo Qingyun attacked, he did not hold back, and he immediately attacked Yuan Sheng with his strongest attack. Suddenly, a 20-meter-long flaming blade light turned into a fire dragon and attacked Yuan Sheng with lightning speed. Blood-devouring demonic palm. When Mo Qingyun attacked, Qi Lian did not hold back either. He attacked Yuan Sheng together with Mo Qingyun. When Qi Lian attacked, a blood-red origin energy turned into a huge blood palm and pressed down on Yuan Sheng's head. In the blood mist around the blood palm, there were blood-red heads floating around. It was a terrifying sight. Kid, it's too early for you to be happy." When he saw that Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian were attacking him together, Yuan Sheng snorted and summoned his martial soul. Dead Spirit Spider, appear. Yuan Sheng's martial soul was a top-class 10 martial soul, the Dead Spirit Spider martial soul. As soon as his martial soul was summoned, the aura on Yuan Sheng's body became even gloomier. Soul Locking Net. In the face of Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian's powerful attacks, Yuan Sheng did not dare to hold back, and he immediately used his martial soul super ability. Suddenly, a huge black soul power net enveloped the fire dragon blade light and the blood-devouring demon palm and trapped them. Chi. After being trapped by the soul-locking net, the fire dragon blade light and the blood-devouring demon palm tried their best to break through the soul-locking net. As they collided, there were sharp sounds of collision. After using his martial soul super ability to block Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian's attacks, Yuan Sheng's face was ferocious. He said, "Kid, since you forced me to this point, you could die honorably." Chapter 159. Light Gate Martial Soul, appear. Mo Qingyun did not hesitate to summon the Light Gate Martial Soul. Once the Light Gate Martial Soul appeared, it immediately emitted an ancient aura. It stood above Mo Qingyun, as if it was one with the heavens and earth. The light on the Light Gate Martial Soul was like the flow of time, giving people a feeling of endless vicissitudes. This is a martial soul. Mo Qingyun has another martial soul. At this moment, everyone looked at the light gate above Mo Qingyun. Everyone was stunned and their hearts raced. It was too surprising, too shocking. Twin martial spirits. Mo Qingyun actually possessed a twin martial spirit that was rarely seen in 10,000 years. What kind of talent is this? Twin martial souls. This Mr. Mo. Wan Lianyun was shocked and his heart raced. He could not find the words to express his feelings at this moment. twin martial souls. He actually has twin martial souls. Seeing Mo Qingyun's light gate martial soul, Du Luo and the other two were excited and shocked. Of course, other than being shocked, their hearts were also filled with joy. Haha, we found a treasure. Zhao Qi was ecstatic and laughed. I can't believe that I, Zhao Qi, am lucky enough to have such a monstrous disciple. I, Suyu, have not lived in vain to have such a disciple in my life. Suyu was also excited. Damn, I have sharp eyes. I knew at first glance that this kid was extraordinary, so I chose him as the successor of the Alchemist Alliance Guild. Du Luo laughed shamelessly. However, at this moment, no one cared about Du Luo's shamelessness. Instead, they looked at Du Luo and the other two with envy inside. These three old men were so lucky to have such a disciple. They had really found a treasure. I see. Looking at Mo Qingyun's light gate martial soul, Mo Hongtian and the rest had tears in their eyes. At this moment, they finally understood. They had been wrong all along. Furthermore, they had been extremely wrong. A genius who possessed twin martial spirits was actually treated by the Mo clan as trash with the worst talent in the clan. How ironic. What was even more ridiculous was that, even after Mo Qingyun had revealed his Scarlet Flame Dragon martial soul, they still hadn't considered the possibility that Mo Qingyun possessed twin martial souls. Instead, they thought that they had made a mistake in the previous test. They had mistaken Mo Qingyun's Scarlet Flame Dragon martial spirit for the Light Gate martial spirit. It was only at this moment that they truly understood. It wasn't that their test was wrong, but that Mo Qingyun possessed twin martial souls that they didn't even dare to imagine. The trash of the Mo clan is truly laughable. We were wrong all along. We were wrong from the very beginning. Qingyun, he is the true genius of our Mo clan. He has been since the beginning. We can only blame ourselves for not realizing it. A genius with twin martial spirits. We were really blind to think that we were trash. At this moment, tears streamed down Mo Hongtian and the rest's faces as they sighed and felt ashamed. Everyone was shocked by Mo Qingyun's twin martial spirits and sighed. Seal gate, seal for me. Mo Qingyun's face darkened as he unleashed his martial spirit superpower and attacked Yuansheng. As soon as the martial spirit superpower was unleashed, a mini light gate appeared on Mo Qingyun's finger and shot towards Yuansheng. Swoosh! The mini light gate was extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, it blasted into Yuansheng's body and sealed his bloodline power. Puff! After being attacked by Mo Qingyun's martial spirit superpower, Yuansheng immediately spat out a mouthful of blood and his face turned pale. At the same time, the aura on Yuansheng's body weakened rapidly. In an instant, it fell to the peak of Yuan Dan realm. Seal the bloodline power. Feeling that his bloodline power was not flowing smoothly, Yuansheng's face changed and he looked at Mo Qingyun in shock. He had not expected Mo Qingyun to have such a technique to seal the bloodline power of others. Old dog, the cultivation that you are so proud of is gone. Now, let's see how arrogant you can be. Mo Qingyun glanced at Yuansheng with disdain. He attacked Yuansheng again and slashed at him. Sun-incinerating, mountain-breaking saber. Mo Qingyun was extremely decisive. Without any hesitation, he slashed at Yuansheng's head. As he slashed down, the red silk saber shone brightly and a 20-meter-long flaming saber radiance was formed. Blood-devouring demonic palm. When Mo Qingyun attacked, Qi Lian didn't hesitate at all. He raised his hand and blasted out a palm strike at Yuansheng. As he struck out with his palm, a gigantic blood palm rapidly formed above Yuansheng's head and pressed down on him. Soul, locking heavenly net. Facing Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian's attack, Yuansheng did not dare to hesitate and retaliated immediately. After Yuansheng's attack, a huge black net formed and wrapped around the flaming saber radiance and the blood palm. Qi. However, at this moment, the huge black net was destroyed when it came into contact with the flaming saber radiance and the blood palm. After destroying the huge black net, the flaming saber radiance and the blood palm did not slow down and continued to attack Yuan Sheng. Bang! Bang! Following which, the flaming saber radiance and the blood palm landed on Yuan Sheng's body and sent him flying. Puff! After receiving 2 consecutive attacks, Yuan Sheng immediately spat out blood. His face turned pale and his aura weakened. Young Master Dan and the red-haired old man are so strong. Even a half-step pill palace expert was injured by them. Is this young Master Dan's true strength? If I did not see it with my own eyes, I would not believe that he is so strong. Now, it seems like the Mount Tai sect and Sky Dragon Triad are in danger. This time, they're going to fail miserably. The outcome was out of everyone's expectations and made them sigh. While everyone was sighing, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and continued to chase after Yuan Sheng. After getting close to Yuan Sheng, Mo Qingyun slashed at him again. His actions were swift and fierce. When Mo Qingyun attacked, Qi Lian also attacked with his palm. His actions were even more ruthless and fierce than Mo Qingyun's. Yuan Sheng was not a match for Mo Qingyun and the red-haired old man when he was at his peak, let alone now. At this moment, Yuan Sheng was immediately sent flying by Mo Qingyun and the red-haired old man's attacks. The injuries on his body became even more severe. The worsening of his injuries caused Yuan Sheng's cultivation to drop again. At this moment, the combat power he could unleash was equivalent to a 5th-level Yuan Dan realm martial artist. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun did not show any mercy. His face darkened as he said, "Old dog, die." After saying that, Mo Qingyun slashed at Yuan Sheng. Before Yuan Sheng could react, the blade pierced through his chest. "No, kid, you can't kill me. If you kill me, the Du family will not let you off." Seeing that his chest was pierced through by Mo Qingyun, Yuan Sheng's face was filled with madness as he roared, "No, I don't want to die. I'm an elder of the Du family. I won't die in this small place." Yuan Sheng had never thought that he would die in a small place like Lianyan City. Originally, he thought that he should be enjoying life and being flattered when he escorted Shui Xiao to Lianyan City. However, in the end, he died in the hands of Mo Qingyun, whom he had never taken seriously. This was an outcome that he could not accept. Whoosh! Under Yuan Sheng's loud roar, Mo Qingyun pulled out the red silk saber, bringing out a rain of blood. After Mo Qingyun pulled out the red silk saber, Yuan Sheng widened his eyes and fell to the ground with an unwilling expression. A half-step pill palace realm expert died, just like that. Chapter 160. You killed Yuan Sheng. Looking at the dead Yuan Sheng on the ground, the faces of Tai Junhai and the others twitched as fear filled their faces. They knew that the sky had fallen. The Du family was one of the 3 great clans in the Xia country. Their prestige was not to be challenged. If the Du family knew that their elder Yuan Sheng had died in Lianyan City, they would definitely take revenge on Lianyan City. They might even massacre the entire city to vent their anger. After a brief moment of fear, Tai Jinhai sneered and said to Mo Qingyun and the others, "You're all finished. You killed Yuan Sheng. The Du family will definitely exterminate your entire family and your entire clan." Hearing Tai Junhai's words, Mo Qingyun's face darkened as he replied, "I don't know if the Du family will exterminate my entire clan or my entire clan. However, I know that all of you will die now." As soon as Mo Qingyun finished his words, his body moved as he charged towards Shui Haoyan. Among the people from the Mount Tai sect and the Heavenly Dragon sect, Shui Haoyan was the biggest problem. As long as he was killed, the others would not be a problem. "Seal door, seal for me." As soon as Mo Qingyun made his move, a mini glowing door immediately formed and blasted into Shui Haoyan's body. Puff! After being blasted by the sealed door, Shui Haoyan immediately spat out a mouthful of blood as his face turned extremely pale. Following that, Shui Haoyan felt that the flow of his blood seemed to be blocked and was no longer smooth. At the same time, The aura on his body began to weaken rapidly. In just a short while, Shui Haotian's cultivation fell to level 9 Yuan Dan realm. As soon as Shui Haotian's cultivation fell, he immediately fell into a state of being beaten up by Wan Lianyun. He struggled to hold on under Wan Lianyun's attacks. After realizing this, Wan Lianyun sneered and said, "Old Shui, you were lucky to escape last time. This time, I won't give you another chance. Prepare to die." Shocking cloud, wave-breaking fist. Wan Lianyun threw out a punch. Terrifying origin energy carried with it the power of ultimacy as it formed numerous fist shadows that blasted towards Shui Haotian. Bang, bang, bang. Shui Haotian, who was only at the 9th level of the Yuan Dan stage, could not even resist Wan Lianyun's powerful attack before he was sent flying. Puff! After being hit by Wan Lianyun's attack, Shui Haotian immediately spat out a mouthful of blood. His face became even paler, and his aura weakened. At this moment, Shui Haotian no longer had the imposing manner from before. He was in a sorry state, like an old man with one foot in the grave. However, Wan Lianyun did not go easy on Shui Haotian just because he was in a sorry state. Instead, he decisively threw a punch at Shui Haotian. Crack! Under Wan Lianyun's attack, Shui Haotian's bones were directly shattered. His aura instantly dissipated, and he died with his eyes wide open. After killing Shui Haotian, Wan Lianyun revealed a strand of a relaxed expression as he said to himself, "Father-in-law, brother Pei Chao, sister Wenla, all of you can rest in peace now." While Wan Lianyun was killing Shui Haotian, Mo Qingyun, Qi Lian, and the others were also slaughtering the people from the Mount Tai sect and Heavenly Dragon sect at an extremely fast speed. These people's strengths were far inferior to Shui Haotian and Yuan Sheng. Under the attacks of Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian, they were like lambs waiting to be slaughtered. Their lives were quickly reaped. Not long after, everyone from the Mount Tai sect and Heavenly Dragon sect, including Tai Zhenhai and Long Zhenjiang, were killed by Mo Qingyun and the others. The Mount Tai sect and Heavenly Dragon sect were finished. The same thought rose in the hearts of the surrounding people when they saw the scene before their eyes. From this moment on, the two major forces in Lianyun City, the Mount Tai Station and Heavenly Dragon sect, were forever removed from the list. Sigh, I didn't expect the outcome to be like this. In the end, the Mount Tai sect and Heavenly Dragon sect are actually removed from the list. It's indeed unexpected. The reason for this outcome is all because of young Master Dan's shocking performance. I'm afraid that the people from the Mount Tai sect and Heavenly Dragon sect would never have thought that they would be defeated by a young man. After seeing such an outcome, everyone sighed endlessly, feeling a little sad for the death of a rabbit. After killing the people from the Mount Tai sect and Heavenly Dragon sect, Mo Qingyun walked towards Wan Lianyun and the others. However, at this moment, Wan Lianyun and the others were frowning. After seeing their expressions, Mo Qingyun knew what they were thinking. They were worried about the revenge of the Du family. After all, the Du family was not comparable to the Mount Tai sect and Heavenly Dragon sect. The Du family had a true Pill Palace realm expert, and their strength was not something that people like Yuan Sheng could compare to. If the Du family came to seek revenge, with the current strength of the crowd, they would not be able to resist. However, Mo Qingyun did not care about this. This was because he had already thought of a countermeasure. Coming in front of the crowd, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and comforted the crowd. Hee, everyone, don't worry. It's just a small Du family. After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Du Luo and the other sighed and said worriedly, "Qingyun, you don't know how strong the Du family is. That's why you said that." The Du family is one of the 3 great clans in the Xia country. There are several Pill Palace realm experts in the clan. It is far from what the Mount Tai sect and Heavenly Dragon sect can compare to. If the Pill Palace realm experts from their clan come, with our strength, I'm afraid, Du Luo said worriedly. Not only that, the 3 great clans in the Xia country have complicated relationships with each other. Offending one of them is equivalent to offending the other two. This is the scariest part. Wan Lianyun added with a face full of worry. There's actually such a thing. After hearing Wan Lianyun's words, Mo Qingyun was shocked. He frowned and said, "If that's the case, it is indeed troublesome." After saying that, Mo Qingyun went silent for a while before saying, "Although it is troublesome, everyone need not worry. I can guarantee that as long as they dare to come, I have a way to make them all stay." After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, everyone fell silent. Obviously, they did not take Mo Qingyun's words seriously. As far as they were concerned, Mo Qingyun was just trying to comfort them. Seeing everyone's expression, Mo Qingyun smiled helplessly. He knew that empty words were still not convincing enough. After all, the strength of the Du family was deeply ingrained in everyone's hearts. After thinking about it, Mo Qingyun said, "In this situation, it is useless for everyone to worry. The most important thing is to think of a solution." That's true. After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, everyone nodded in agreement with Mo Qingyun's words. With the strength of the Du family, it is impossible for us to do it alone. Why don't we ask for help from the other cities? It is useless. If the other cities know that we have offended the Du family, it will be good enough if they do not add insult to injury. Since it is useless to ask for help, what should we do? Why don't we abandon the city and escape the Du family's pursuit? Escape? Where can we escape to? With the strength of the Du family, as long as we are in the Xia country, there is nowhere to escape. In a moment, Du Luo and the others began to talk at once, voicing their thoughts. After a few simple words of discussion, everyone fell silent again. They could faintly feel a trace of despair. At this moment, the Du family was like a mountain pressing down on them, making it hard for them to breathe. After seeing everyone's reaction, Mo Qingyun did not say anything more. He knew that no matter how much he said, it would all be in vain. When the time came, when everyone saw his performance, they would naturally understand everything. Chapter 161. After returning to the Bu mansion, Mo Qingyun began to prepare for the Du family's revenge. Warm sun gold sand, moon breath ice stone, spinning top earth fiend essence, green light ink copper, ice soul spirit tree. Mo Qingyun placed rare materials one after another in front of him in an orderly manner. I still lack black fire mud and dark blue red cauldron jade to create the 7-star killing formation. Looking at the rare materials in front of him, Qingyun frowned slightly and thought to himself, "I'll ask City Lord Wan and the others if they have these 2 items." Then, Mo Qingyun put away the items in front of him and left the courtyard to find Wan Lianyun and the others. Coincidentally, Wan Lianyun, Du Luo, and the others arrived at the Bu mansion. Seeing Wan Lianyun and the others arrive at the Bu mansion, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and walked towards them. "City Lord Wan, 3 teachers, you came at the right time. I have something to talk to you about." Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and greeted Wan Lianyun and the others as he approached them. "Oh." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Wan Lianyun and the others were stunned and asked curiously, "What do you want from us?" Seeing that they were asking directly, Mo Qingyun didn't beat around the bush and asked directly, "City Lord Wan, 3 teachers, do you have black fire mud and dark blue red cauldron jade?" Black fire mud and dark blue red cauldron jade? Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Wan Lianyun and the others pondered and recalled. After a moment of silence, Du Luo said in a low voice, "If I remember correctly, the Alchemist Union should have these 2 items. The City Lore Mansion has many of these 2 items." "Don't worry, Mr. Mo," Wan Lianyun smiled faintly and added. Then he asked curiously, "Mr. Mo, what do you want these 2 items for?" Hearing Wan Lianyun's question, Mo Qingyun didn't beat around the bush and answered directly, "To create a formation." "Refining arrays?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, everyone's expression froze, revealing a look of surprise. They really didn't expect Mo Qingyun to know such a method. As far as they knew, in the entire Xia kingdom, there were no more than 5 people who knew about arrays. This kid is getting more and more mysterious. After this discovery, such a thought involuntarily rose in everyone's hearts. They realized that the more they interacted with Mo Qingyun, the more they could sense the mysteriousness of Mo Qingyun. After confirming from Du Luo and the others that they had black flame mudstone and dark blue-red cauldron jade, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and said, "Since that's the case, let's not waste any more time and start refining the spirit array as soon as possible." All right. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, everyone nodded in agreement with Mo Qingyun's suggestion. After all, no one could be sure when the Du family would find out about Yuan Sheng's death and come and take revenge on them. Therefore, it was a good decision to make preparations early. It was better to be prepared, wasn't it? 2 hours later, Mo Qingyun received the black flame mudstone and dark blue-red cauldron jade from Wan Lianyun and the others. Seeing that all the materials were gathered, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and started refining the spirit array. Following this, Mo Qingyun took the materials one by one and carved strange runes on them, emitting a strange power. Several hours later, Mo Qingyun had engraved different runes on all the materials for refining the formation. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun raised his hand and threw the materials one after another, flying to every corner of the Azure Jade Mansion. After all the array formation materials had been tossed to a corner, Mo Qingyun's hands started to form a series of hand seals. Rise! After a while, a strange handprint was formed in front of Mo Qingyun. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun threw the handprint into the air. Clang! As soon as the handprint flew into the air, it suddenly shone brightly and formed a 7-colored light screen. The sound of swords clashing could be heard from it. Not only that, but everyone could clearly sense a terrifying aura coming from the 7-colored light screen. So powerful. Feeling this powerful aura, everyone's expression changed as they were shocked in their hearts. After a short moment of being stunned, Wan Lianyun looked serious and asked Mo Qingyun, "Mr. Mo, what kind of spirit array is this? It's so powerful." Hearing Wan Lianyun's words, Du Luo and the others also looked at Mo Qingyun curiously, waiting for his answer. Seeing everyone looking at him, Mo Qingyun replied, "This is the 7 stars killing array. It can be used for both offense and defense. As long as you assign people to control the 7 stars, it can unleash a powerful killing power. Now that no one is controlling this spirit array, it can only unleash its defensive power." Oh! Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the curiosity on Wan Lianyun's face intensified. He asked, "Then is this spirit array really unable to stop the Pill Palace experts of the Du family?" Mo Qingyun smiled faintly at Wan Lianyun and replied, "If City Lord Wan is interested, you can try the power of this spirit array." Okay. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Wan Lianyun didn't hesitate. He leaped up and raised his hand to punch the 7-colored light screen. Under Wan Lianyun's palm, Yuan energy gathered violently and formed a huge fish shadow that blasted towards the 7-colored light screen. Pop! Under Wan Lianyun's palm, the 7-colored light screen shook slightly and returned to its original state. That feeling was like throwing a stone into a large lake, only to cause some ripples. Clang! 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 At this moment, while everyone was shocked by the defensive power of the spirit array, streaks of sword chi formed rapidly and attacked Wan Lianyun. The spirit array is attacking automatically. Seeing this, everyone's expression changed again. They were shocked by the power of the 7 stars killing array. Break! Seeing the sword chi coming towards him, Wan Lianyun's expression changed slightly. He raised his hand to disperse the sword chi. The sword chi wasn't strong and was only comparable to an attack from a true energy realm expert. It wasn't enough to threaten Wan Lianyun. Even so, everyone's heart couldn't help but tremble when they saw this scene. They remembered that Mo Qingyun had said that no one was controlling the spirit array, so it didn't have any offensive power. Under the circumstances where it didn't have any offensive power, it could generate sword chi comparable to an attack from a true energy realm expert. If someone was controlling it, what kind of power would it have? At this moment, Wan Lianyun and the others were filled with curiosity and anticipation towards the 7 stars killing array. This is the spirit array? It's so strong. After dispersing the sword chi, Wan Lianyun returned to Mo Qingyun's side. His face was filled with excitement and shock. At the same time, after Wan Lianyun retreated, the spirit array returned to its original state as if nothing had happened. My good disciple, what is the strongest attack that this 7 stars killing array can withstand? After all, the cultivation of the Du family members wouldn't be like City Lord Wan, who is only half a step away from the Pill Palace, Du Luo asked. It can withstand an attack from a high-level expert of the Pill Palace. Those below the high level of the Pill Palace won't be able to break the spirit array. Mo Qingyun replied solemnly. It can withstand an attack from a high-level expert of the Pill Palace. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, everyone's expression changed again and they were shocked. In the entire Xia country, there weren't many mid-level experts of the Pill Palace. From the looks of it, the Du family wouldn't be able to break the spirit array. After this discovery, everyone's hearts relaxed. The worry on their faces also slowly dissipated. Shortly after, Zhao Qi asked curiously, since the 7 stars killing array can withstand an attack from a high-level expert of the Pill Palace, what kind of level can its strongest attack reach? As for the strength of the spirit array, it depends on the strength of the person controlling the spirit array. Mo Qingyun pondered for a moment before replying. If City Lord Wan is controlling the spirit array, the strength of the 7 stars killing array should be comparable to an all-out attack from a half-step away from the Pill Palace. Comparable to an all-out attack from a half-step away from the Pill Palace. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, everyone's heart skipped a beat. Their faces were filled with shock. If that was the case, if they were to hide in the spirit array, then the people from the Mount Tai sect and Heavenly Dragon sect wouldn't be able to return alive. After exchanging a few more words with everyone, Mo Qingyun said, 3 teachers, City Lord Wan, this spirit array only covers the Azure Jade Palace. It can't protect the area outside the Azure Jade Palace. Therefore, it's best to move the people close to you into the Azure Jade Palace. This will be safer. Okay, we'll make the arrangements now. Chapter 162. After Wan Lianyun and the others left, Mo Qingyun went to look for Mo Hong Tian and asked him to make some arrangements to free up some rooms. When the people from the City Lord's Mansion and the Alchemist Alliance Guild arrived, they would immediately have a place to stay. Not long after, Wan Lianyun, Du Luo, and the others brought their close friends and moved into the Azure Jade Mansion. After everyone had arrived, Mo Qingyun went to look for Wan Lianyun and discuss the matter of controlling the formation with him. Wan Lianyun had the highest cultivation level among everyone. Only with him controlling the 7 stars killing formation would they be able to unleash the full power of the formation. After hearing Mo Qingyun's suggestion, Wan Lianyun agreed without hesitation. Next, Mo Qingyun selected a few people to assist in controlling the formation. In the end, Mo Qingyun selected a total of 49 people. These people's cultivation levels were all 4th level Yuan Dan stage and above. After selecting the people to control the formation, Mo Qingyun began to guide them on how to control the 7 stars killing formation. In the blink of an eye, 5 days had passed. Under Mo Qingyun's step-by-step guidance, everyone finally grasped how to control the 7 stars killing formation. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun revealed a satisfied expression. He let everyone continue to practice the formation while he went into seclusion to cultivate. In the past few days, while guiding everyone to familiarize themselves with the formation, he discovered that his soul cultivation showed signs of a breakthrough. After discovering this, Mo Qingyun naturally did not dare to hesitate and immediately began to make a breakthrough in his soul cultivation. If his soul cultivation improved further, his strength would be greatly improved in a short period of time. In the small courtyard, Mo Qingyun gathered his thoughts and focused on cultivating. As Mo Qingyun continued to cultivate, his soul started to transform bit by bit. From its original mist-like state, it slowly transformed into a liquid state. After discovering this, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and worked even harder to transform his soul into a liquid state. One day later, Mo Qingyun opened his eyes with a pleasantly surprised expression. His soul cultivation had finally broken through to the spirit origin realm. After a brief moment of surprise, Mo Qingyun calmed himself down and continued to cultivate, stabilizing his soul realm. About half a day later, Mo Qingyun stopped cultivating. At this moment, his soul realm had finally stabilized. Mo Qingyun pondered in his heart when he saw that his spiritual cultivation had stabilized. He quietly said, "Now that my spiritual cultivation has stabilized, it is time for me to practice the secret soul technique, Heavenly Soul Seal." With this thought in mind, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and started to refine the soul battle seal. Under Mo Qingyun's sacrificial refining, the spiritual battle seal began to change from its original gaseous state to a liquid state. With this transformation, the spiritual battle seal became more stable, and its power multiplied. 3 days later, Mo Qingyun stopped cultivating. After 3 days of refining, all 18 soul battle seals had been completely transformed. Not only that, but Mo Qingyun had also condensed 9 new soul battle seals. With this, Mo Qingyun condensed a total of 27 soul battle seals. I wonder if the people from the Du family have arrived. Thinking of this, Mo Qingyun stopped cultivating, got up, and walked out of the courtyard. Bang! At this moment, just as Mo Qingyun walked out of the courtyard, a terrifying wave of Yuan energy exploded in the Azure Jade Mansion. The aura of a half-step pill palace realm. Qilian's cultivation has broken through. After discovering this, Mo Qingyun's expression was shocked, but it was soon replaced with joy. Shortly after, Mo Qingyun moved and rushed towards Qilian's residence. After a while, Mo Qingyun arrived at Qilian's residence. At this moment, Wan Lianyun and the others had already arrived. Mr. Qi's cultivation speed is really shocking. I'm afraid that his cultivation will soon surpass mine. Seeing that Qilian's cultivation had reached the half-step pill palace realm, Wan Lianyun couldn't help but sigh. In just a few months after he met Qilian's cultivation was like a rocket, rising from the first level of the Yuan Dan realm to the half-step pill palace realm. This kind of cultivation speed was simply too frightening. Hearing Wan Lianyun's words, Du Luo and the others' expressions changed. They looked at Mo Qingyun and asked, "Qingyun, what is Mr. Qi's identity?" Hearing Du Luo and the others' question, Mo Qingyun pondered for a moment, then said in a deep voice, "Regarding Qilian's identity, it's better that you don't ask. This isn't a good thing for you." Mo Qingyun's words weren't false. Qilian's enemy was the Supreme Being expert, Li He. If Qilian's identity was exposed, it would cause unnecessary trouble. That wouldn't be good. Oh, hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Wan Lianyun and the others' expressions changed. They were surprised by Mo Qingyun's answer. After that, they didn't ask any more questions. They knew that Mo Qingyun had his reasons for saying so. Furthermore, the few of them weren't the kind of people who liked to get to the bottom of things. Seeing that no one asked any more questions, Mo Qingyun pondered for a moment, then asked 3 teachers, City Lord Wan, "Has the Du family arrived yet?" "Not yet." Wan Lianyun's face immediately turned solemn when he heard that. He said, "But I heard from others that the news of Yuan Sheng's death should have already reached the Du family. I reckon that it won't be long before the Du family arrives." Hearing Wan Lianyun's words, Mo Qingyun's expression became more serious. He said, "It's the same whether they come sooner or later. We have to face them sooner or later. Now that Qilian's cultivation has broken through to the half-step pill palace, if they dare to break the array, I will definitely make them return in failure." Just like that, after Mo Qingyun and the others arrived, Qilian stopped cultivating. "Young lord, City Lord Juan, President Du, you're all here. Seeing that Mo Qin Yun and the others were all here, Qi Lian smiled faintly and greeted them. Seeing that Qi Lian was approaching, Wan Lianyun smiled awkwardly and joked, Mr. Qi, I'm afraid that I'm not your opponent now. Wan Lianyun wasn't lying. Facing Qi Lian, who had comprehended the power of might, even if his cultivation had entered the half-step pill palace, he still wouldn't be Qi Lian's opponent. This was a kind of comprehension of intent realm. It wasn't something that could be made up with a small difference in cultivation. After hearing Wan Lianyun's words, Du Luo's face was filled with joy. He smiled faintly and said, Hee, we're all on the same side. The stronger Mr. Qi is, the better it is for us. That's true. Hearing Du Luo's words, Mo Qin Yun and the others nodded their heads, agreeing with what he said. After that, Mo Qin Yun and the others chatted as they walked towards the conference hall of the Azure Jade Mansion. Swoosh! While Mo Qin Yun and the others were chatting, two air-piercing sounds streaked across the sky above the northern desert town. After the two air-piercing sounds, two figures stopped above the northern desert town, emitting two powerful auras. They stood in the air. They were Pill Palace realm experts. Looking at the two figures standing in the air, the expressions of the people in the northern desert town changed drastically. Their hearts were filled with shock. For the northern desert town, which didn't even have a Yuan Dan realm expert, to have two Pill Palace realm experts in one go was too abnormal. At this moment, while everyone was still in shock, in the air, the man among the two Taoists asked in a deep voice, Is there Mo family here? Mo family. They're here for the Mo family. The Mo family actually knows Pill Palace realm experts. No wonder they can annihilate the Song and He families. Hearing the man's question, the people below were shocked. Words of astonishment came out one after another. At this moment, they seemed to have understood one thing. They knew the reason why the Mo family was able to annihilate the Song and He families. Say, Senior, the Mo family is already headed towards Lianyun City. Under the gaze of the man in the air, a man below replied with a face full of fear. Lianyun City. Hearing the man's reply, the man in the air frowned. He said to the woman beside him, Junior sister, let's go. Chapter 163. Whoosh, whoosh. A moment later, two figures flew over from the sky above Lianyun City, emitting a terrifying aura. Where's the Mo clan? The two figures arrived above Lianyun City and asked a person in the city below. Under the aura of the two people, the person who was asked immediately panicked and stammered, Senior, there is no Mo clan in Lianyun City. Upon hearing this person's reply, the expression of the woman in the air immediately darkened. You're courting death. Then, the woman snorted coldly and raised her hand to attack the person. Bang! Under the woman's palm. The person who was being questioned was instantly blasted into dust and dissipated into the air. Seeing the woman's action, the man couldn't bear it and scolded, Junior sister Luo Yuan, we're only here to find someone. Don't kill for no reason. He's just an ant. So what if I kill him? Hearing the man's words, Luo Yuan showed an arrogant expression and said indifferently, Moreover, I think he's deliberately hiding it and wasting our time. Why should we be soft on such a person? You. Hearing Luo Yuan's sophistry, the man snorted unhappily and left in a huff. Senior brother Qian Yi, don't be angry. Seeing that the man was angry, Luo Yuan pouted and said coquettishly, Senior brother Qian Yi, I know I'm wrong. Okay? I'll listen to you from now on. Okay? Hearing Luo Yuan's words, Qian Yi's expression turned better. He asked the other person, Is there Mo clan in Lianyun City? Mo clan? The person who was asked pondered for a while and replied, Senior, in Lianyun City, I only know that young Master Dan of the Azure Jade Mansion has the surname Mo, Azure Jade Mansion. Qian Yi frowned and asked, How do I get to the Azure Jade Mansion? The person replied, It's easy to find the Azure Jade Mansion. Go straight down this street and turn right. Hearing the person's answer, Qianyi nodded and followed the person's directions to the Azure Jade Mansion. Soon, the two arrived outside the Azure Jade Mansion. There's a formation. Seeing the 7-star killing formation outside the Azure Jade Mansion, Qianyi was surprised by the scene before him. He didn't expect that there would be someone who knew about formations in this remote area. Is it not here? After a short moment of surprise, Qianyi looked confused and started to ponder. In his impression, the Mo clan should be very weak. It was absolutely impossible for them to know how to set up arrays, let alone have the ability to ask a formation master to help set up arrays. While Qianyi was pondering, Luo Yuan pursed her lips in disdain and said coldly, "It's just a rural area. I want to see what kind of powerful array you can set up." Fiery blue star sword. As soon as Luo Yuan finished speaking, she took out an azure longsword and slashed at the 7 stars killing array. Luo Yuan slashed out. The azure sword in her hand immediately shone with a dazzling blue light. She slashed out with a blue streak and slammed it against the 7-star slaughter formation. Bang! Suddenly, a loud sound was heard. The 7-colored light screen of the 7-star slaughter formation shook violently, as if it would shatter at any time. At the same time, a terrifying force was released from the 7-star slaughter formation and wreaked havoc in the surroundings. Boom! 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 Under the force of the recoil, the surrounding buildings instantly collapsed, turning into a mess. Cough! As for Luo Yuan, she was also forced back by the force of the force. She let out a muffled groan, and her face turned red. It seemed that she wasn't feeling well under the force of the force of the force. Damn ants. Wait until I break this formation. I'll bathe the Azure Jade Mansion in blood. Seeing that she was defeated by the 7-star slaughter formation, Luo Yuan's face darkened. She attacked the 7-star slaughter formation again. Junior sister, stop. Seeing the girl's action, Qianyi's face darkened. He said unhappily, "Princess Ling, she's probably in the Azure Jade Mansion. If she's injured because of your actions, we won't be able to explain ourselves when we return." Hearing Qianyi's words, Luo Yuan revealed a trace of resentment. She said coldly, "They better start praying that Princess Ling is in there. Otherwise, don't blame me for being ruthless." At this moment, in the Azure Jade Mansion, someone is breaking the formation. Could it be the people from the Du family? Mo Qingyun's face sank when he sensed the fluctuations from the 7-star killing array. His expression became somewhat grave. From the ripples from the 7-star slaughter formation, the strength of the person breaking the formation was extremely strong. He was very close to the advanced level of the Pill Palace. After discovering this, Mo Qingyun released his soul energy and sensed the outside world. At this moment, Qi Lian's face tensed up. He said in a low voice, "The person is very strong. He's at least at the intermediate level of the Pill Palace." After sensing the outside world, Mo Qingyun's face turned ugly. He said in a low voice, "The two people outside are very strong. One is at the 6th level of the Pill Palace, and the other is at the 8th level of the Pill Palace. 6th level of the Pill Palace and 8th level of the Pill Palace." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, everyone's face turned pale. It was as if they had fallen into an ice cellar. Among the two people, one of them was at the 8th level of the Pill Palace realm. If that was the case, the 7-star slaughter formation wouldn't be able to stop them. Once the 7-star slaughter formation was gone, everyone in the Azure Jade Mansion would be slaughtered in front of the two people. Phew, let's go out and take a look. Mo Qingyun let out a deep breath. After saying this, he walked out of the conference hall. When Mo Qingyun walked out of the conference hall, he formed a seal with both of his hands and blasted it into the air. Then, he opened the 7-star slaughtering formation, and the 7-colored light screen dissipated. In Mo Qingyun's opinion, since the 7-star slaughter formation couldn't stop them, he might as well open it. Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, no one said anything. They could understand the reason behind Mo Qingyun's actions. At least you know what's good for you. Seeing Mo Qingyun opening the formation, Luo Yuan snorted coldly and walked into the Azure Jade Mansion with a cold expression. At the same time, the man, Qin Yi, also walked into the Azure Jade Mansion. They're from Mysterious Moon Palace. At this moment, when the two people walked into the Azure Jade Mansion and appeared in front of everyone, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian's expressions changed. They didn't expect that the two people weren't from the Du family, but from a force from the state region. After being slightly surprised, Mo Qingyun looked at the two people in front of him indifferently and asked, "You're from the Mysterious Moon Palace? You know about the Mysterious Moon Palace?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qin Yi and Qi Lian's expressions changed. They were surprised by Mo Qingyun's words. If that's the case, it shouldn't be wrong. It should be here. After a short moment of surprise, the man smiled faintly. He looked at Mo Qingyun with interest and smiled faintly. "Little guy, about the Mysterious Moon Palace. It should be Yueru who told you, right? Yueru?" Hearing Qin Yi's words, everyone's expression changed. They were shocked by the man's words. However, they soon found out that the two people in front of them were here because of Mo Yueru. They were here to look for Mo Yueru. A high-level expert of the Pill Palace realm came all the way to this remote place to look for Mo Yueru. At this moment, everyone's hearts were filled with curiosity. After knowing that the two people weren't from the Du family, Mo Qingyun and the others felt relieved. This was good news. If the Du family really had a high-level expert of the Pill Palace, it would be terrible. Mo Qingyun looked at Qin Yi with an indifferent expression and asked, "Who are you? Why are you looking for Second Aunt?" "I'm Yu Qianyi. I'm an old friend of Yueru's. I have an important matter to discuss with her." Qin Yi revealed a humble expression. He looked at Mo Qingyun and the others with a faint smile and said, "I hope that you can let me see Yueru." "Qin Yi, is that you?" At this moment, just as Qin Yi finished speaking, an excited voice came from behind Mo Qingyun and the others. After hearing this voice, everyone knew that Mo Yueru had come. Chapter 164. It's me. Seeing Mo Yueru, Yu Qinyi was a little emotional. He said apologetically, "Yueru, I made you suffer all these years. No, as long as you're here, I don't feel wronged at all." Mo Yueru was emotional. She walked quickly towards Yu Qinyi and looked at him affectionately. Looking at Mo Yueru in front of him, Yu Qinyi's expression was complicated. There was admiration, self-blame, apology, and helplessness. Seeing Yu Qinyi and Mo Yueru's actions, Luo Yuan was jealous. She snorted unhappily and said disdainfully, "So you're the woman that senior brother Qinyi has been thinking about for so many years. You don't look like much. You look like a pauper." Hearing Luo Yuan's words, everyone's expression changed, and they looked at Luo Yuan angrily. Seeing everyone looking at her with anger, Luo Yuan's face darkened. She said coldly, "A bunch of ants. How dare you look at me like that? You're courting death." Luo Yuan raised her hand and waved it towards Mo Faping and the others. Suddenly, a terrifying wave of Yuan Qi exploded from Luo Yuan's palm and enveloped Mo Faping and the others. Seeing Luo Yuan's action, Qi Lian's expression changed, and he shouted, "Everyone be careful. 7 Fiend Blood Demonic Dragon, appear. Soul Change, Blood-Devouring Demonic Palm." At the same time, Qi Lian's body moved and blocked in front of everyone. He used his huge body to protect everyone behind him. Top Grade 12 Martial Spirit, 7 Fiend Blood Demonic Dragon, 2nd Rank Blood Force. Seeing Qi Lian's martial spirit and feeling the power from Qi Lian, Luo Yuan's expression changed, and she looked at Qi Lian in shock. Then, Luo Yuan said with disdain, "A half-step to the Pill Palace realm. Even if you have a top grade 12 martial spirit and have comprehended the 2nd rank blood force, you're still courting death if you want to block my palm." Puff! Under Luo Yuan's attack, Qi Lian's body was sent flying, and he returned to his human form. He spat out a mouthful of blood. "Mr. Qi, how are you?" Seeing Qi Lian's state, Du Luo and the others were concerned. They helped Qi Lian up and sent him back to his residence to rest. Soul Heaven Seal when he saw Luo Yuan attacking the Mo family. Mo Qingyun's face immediately darkened. Without hesitation, he activated his Soul Battle Seal. Under Mo Qingyun's control, the 27 Soul Battle Seals shot towards Luo Yuan at the speed of a meteor. In a short while, 27 Soul Battle Seals blasted into Luo Yuan's sea of consciousness. Explode. The Soul Battle imprints entered Luo Yuan's mind. Mo Qingyun's face hardened as he directly detonated all 27 Soul Battle imprints. Puff, puff, puff. As the Soul Battle imprints continued to explode, waves of terrifying soul shock waves were generated, continuously injuring Luo Yuan's soul. Pucci! Luo Yuan spat out a mouthful of blood. Her face paled, and she looked dispirited. The seal door had been unlocked. When Luo Yuan's soul was injured and her consciousness was in a daze, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate to remove the seal on his pill palace. He borrowed the power of his pill palace to get up, following which Mo Qingyun's cultivation instantly rose to the half-step pill palace realm. At the same time, a trace of blood seeped out from the surface of his skin. This meant that the power that his body could withstand had reached a limit. What a powerful soul strength. Also, there's a powerful force sealed in his body. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, Yu Qinyi's expression changed. His face was filled with shock. Sun incinerating mountains splitting blade. After borrowing the power of his pill palace, Missouri Qingyun took out his red silk blade and slashed towards Luo Yuan, who was in a daze. Suddenly, a 20-meter-long flaming blade light slashed towards Luo Yuan's head. Wait, please show mercy. Seeing Mo Qingyun slashing towards Luo Yuan, Yu Qinyi immediately stopped him. At the same time, he raised his hand to block Mo Qingyun's blade light. Qi! Under Yu Qinyi's attack, Mo Qingyun's attack was easily neutralized. Seeing that his full-strength attack was easily neutralized by Yu Qinyi, Mo Qingyun's face turned cold. He asked Yu Qinyi, "You want to protect her?" Under Mo Qingyun's cold gaze, Yu Qinyi couldn't help but feel a chill run down his spine. His expression changed slightly as he looked at Mo Qingyun and the others. He said, "Everyone, I have no intention of becoming enemies with you. Listen to me, let's talk things out." Seeing Yu Qinyi's attitude, everyone's expression softened. With Yu Qinyi's cultivation at the 8th level of the Pill Palace, he was quite sincere. However, just as Yu Qinyi's words fell, Luo Yuan's face was filled with hatred. She gritted her teeth and said, "You bunch of ants, how dare you hurt me? I'll kill you all." Luo Yuan couldn't accept it. She was the daughter of the Black Moon Palace's elder, an expert at the 6th level of the Pill Palace. How could she be hurt by a bunch of ants? To her, this was a great humiliation. At this moment, Luo Yuan raised her hand again and attacked Mo Qingyun and the others. "Junior sister, don't." Seeing Luo Yuan attack again, Yu Qinyi's expression changed. He quickly raised his hand and blasted out a palm, blocking Luo Yuan's attack. Under Yu Qinyi's attack, Luo Yuan's attack was also easily blocked. At the same time, Luo Yuan was also pushed back by Yu Qinyi's attack. Seeing that her attack was blocked by Yu Qinyi, Luo Yuan's face was filled with grievance, anger, and jealousy. She looked at Yu Qinyi and said, "Senior brother Qinyi, I'm injured. Why didn't you help me? Why did you attack me?" Yu Qinyi avoided Luo Yuan's gaze and said with an apologetic expression, "Junior sister Luo Yuan, they are Princess Ling's family. You can't hurt them." Family? These country bumpkins, are they worthy? Hearing Yu Qinyi's words, Luo Yuan looked at Mo Qingyun and the others with disdain. She looked at Mo Yuru with jealousy and said, "You're obviously siding with them because of this woman. Junior sister Luo Yuan, don't mess around." Hearing Luo Yuan's words, Yu Qinyi couldn't bear it and tried to persuade Luo Yuan. "I'm messing around?" Hearing Yu Qinyi's words, Luo Yuan's expression became even crazier. She said, "Senior brother Qinyi, I Luo Yuan, joined the sect with you when I was 10 years old. After 40 years, don't you know how I feel about you? Luo Yuan said again. But you've only known this woman for 3 months, and she's already seduced your soul. This woman is obviously a vixen. I'm going to kill her. Finishing her words, Luo Yuan once again raised her hand and blasted it towards Mo Yueru. Junior sister, don't. Seeing Luo Yuan's action, Yu Qinyi's expression changed, and he immediately raised his hand to block. Perhaps because he was too concerned, Yu Qinyi's attack was a little too heavy. After he blasted out his palm, a terrifying Yuan Li burst out from his palm, as well as a shocking power. Puff! Facing Yu Qinyi's attack, Luo Yuan was immediately blasted away. She continuously vomited blood, and her face became extremely pale. Seeing that he had accidentally injured Luo Yuan, Yu Qinyi felt a little guilty. He asked Luo Yuan with concern, "Junior sister Luo Yuan, are you all right?" "Yu Qinyi, I actually injured me. I hate you." Luo Yuan looked at Yu Qinyi with a painful expression and then flew away, leaving behind a sentence of hatred. "Mo clan, I will not let you go." "Junior sister Luo Yuan." Seeing Luo Yuan leave, Yu Qinyi called out to her. Immediately after, he helplessly shook his head and walked back. He didn't continue to chase after her. "Qinyi, this Luo Yuan seems to have feelings for you," Mo Yueru said gently. Seeing the scene just now, everyone could see that Luo Yuan's actions were clearly due to her love for Mo Yueru. Sigh. Yu Qinyi sighed and said, "In my heart, I've always treated her as a younger sister." Hearing Yu Qinyi's words, everyone became silent and couldn't help but sigh. Matters of the heart were the most difficult to fathom. You might not be able to get something back even if you put in effort. Many times, the falling flowers were affectionate, but the flowing water was unintentional. If you put your heart into a flower, it wouldn't bloom, but if you don't put your heart into it, it would grow. Actually, this Luo Yuan was just a pitiful person. After sighing, Yu Qinyi cupped his hands and said apologetically, "Everyone, junior sister Luo Yuan is arrogant and willful. Please forgive her for the trouble she has caused you." "Mr. Yu, you're too kind." Hearing Yu Qinyi's apology, Mo Tian and the rest smiled faintly and immediately responded. Although they knew that Yu Qinyi and Mo Yueru had feelings for each other, the other party's background was too powerful. As a result, Mo Tian and the rest couldn't help but feel a little restrained. They didn't dare to be arrogant with their status as elders. Thinking that Mo Tian and the rest were Mo Yueru's clansmen, and some of them were even Mo Yueru's elders, Yu Qinyi put on a humble expression and said, "Everyone is Yueru's elders, brothers, and clansmen. Just call me Qinyi. In that case, we'll take advantage of our seniority." After hearing Yu Qinyi's words, Mo Tian smiled faintly and went along with Yu Qinyi's words. He said, "Qinyi, you're a guest from afar. Don't stand here. Please come in." Yu Qinyi nodded and followed Mo Tian and the rest to the conference hall. Activate. When everyone was heading to the conference hall, Mo Qinyin raised his hand and formed a hand seal. Once again, the array was activated. Then, a 7-colored light screen immediately formed and enveloped the entire Azure Jade Mansion. After doing all this, Mo Qinyin didn't follow everyone to the conference hall. Instead, he went to Qi Lian's residence. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.